Otherwise, that is it for me. Trader, got it. Sharif, stay open to learning. Option scalping is the big boss. I'll absolutely, dude. I'm definitely looking at expanding my knowledge in trading. I've really wanted to get into options for a while now. I haven't had the opportunity. Hopefully, you know, this year I do get a little bit more time under my belt as some of the stuff that we're doing with my family's business is coming to an end. So I'll have a little bit more time, hopefully, to be able to learn that. I do appreciate you and the comments there. Pro day trader. All right, let's see. Elon, shout out to Sharif being so motivated. Yeah, dude, I really want to learn. Mandarin. I speak Arabic. I speak a little bit of French, not enough to get by. So I'd like to definitely get myself another really good language and one that will, in my opinion, be in use. And definitely, well, you guys know where the direction is going. Big bees. Been using Perplexity and even on free and using free AI sources has been very nice. Thank you. I know a lot of people talk well about Perplexity. I know Brendo uses it. And so, yeah, thank you for that. The Hayes Records. Give us a sentence in Mandarin, bro. I don't know. I can say a ton of stuff now, dude. What do you want me to say? I don't know. I can say I like food. Or I can say I like traveling. So I can say, 我喜欢旅行. Means I like to travel, right? Thank you. Why'd you hit the fail? Oh, okay, yeah. What else?
I don't think so, Adair said.
I don't know how to say get it, Adair in Mandarin, bro. There's lots of stuff that I can say. What's that? بحب أسافر. Right, that's the Egyptian Arabic though. That's Egyptian Arabic, right? So Egyptian Arabic's a little bit different than all the others, but yeah, that's it. Zero gravity Zen. I like Perplexity because I can choose between different models like Claude, OpenAI, Gemini. You're absolutely right. Yes, good point. I like to diversify to see which ones are the best. I mean, especially since DeepSeek's come out. I know DeepSeek doesn't have voice, but I've been really learning about all the different engines out there. I mean, I had only been using Gemini or ChatGPT. I hadn't gone to Claude. I hadn't gone to Perplexity and the others, Anthropic as well. I hadn't tried those, and I don't know why. Just the whole the DeepSeek thing kind of got me trying all these different ones. So that's a look there. Jamlocki, I speak Jordanian Arabic. Shout out to my brother-in-law who's Jordanian. He speaks up a storm, and I don't understand most of what he says. Yes, so that's the look there. I like turtles, says Thomas Johnson. I love that video. Anybody who's an OG knows that video about I like turtles. What else we got in the chat there? Ask ChatGPT, says Henrik. I will get it, Adara? Yeah, I can ask ChatGPT. I can do that. I'd rather learn it on my own, though. Yes, that is the look there. Ezekiel, you are my second favorite Egyptian after Mo Salah. I'll take that, bro. I'll take that. Mo Salah's an OG. Shout out to Mo Salah. I hate Liverpool. Shout out to Neil as well. No, I'm kidding, of course, because I couldn't hate Liverpool. My old man is a big Liverpool fan, so couldn't do that. Jai, you basically said, get it. Oh, Jai means here. Like Jai Joli, right, means here. Yeah. So I know some people, like one of the cars in China, when you call its name, like you would say, hey, whatever, Tesla, it says, well, Jai, means I'm here, right? Like I'm still here. And then there's a bunch of stuff that I can say. I can say, where's my cell phone? For example, Wul de Shoji Jainali, right? That means, where's my cell phone? Yeah, I can say a bunch of stuff. What do you got?
I don't got that much Chinese in my vocabulary, so I don't know what we got going on here with NVDA and Google here, guys. But it's starting to break out, pulling slightly back here. But I mean, it seems the SPY is slightly laggard, but I think it's going to start to pick up a little steam as these big names continue to hold these highs, which is really important. One thing, though, oh, wow, it's not looking good here for Bitcoin, though, guys. Continuing to sell off, 54 now and a half is Bitcoin. As the market continues to move higher, it is in zero correlation with it, if anything, an inverse as Bitcoin continues to dump. I'm going to have to look to maybe close some positions on this thing and then reassess and then maybe get back in at a later date. But as of right now, I'm not liking the look. I think this is the time where we do breach that 90K and then head a little bit more south. So we're going to look to mitigate that downside here on this trade. But that's that. And let's see what the Qs are up to as well, guys, as we hover around some key resistance levels as well. Here we are, even on the daily, from a daily perspective, we've been hovering around the same area. But let's zoom in and see what we got going on. A 5-minute time frame, running into some pre-market highs, almost to the penny, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
But we're not getting that volume really stepping in right now. As NVDA climbs higher, Meta's doing the inverse. It's starting to reject the volume-weighted average price and head to the south side, sitting around $711 and change is Meta. And the same with Microsoft, having the ability to crack through VWAP once again and hold, now going potentially to the downside. It seems to be the case that NVDA and Google are the strong counterparts here in this session, but let's see what Adara's up to, guys.
Be cognizant here of the market because we have comments from Fed's Goolsby. He's specifically saying he's actually going to be putting emphasis on things like PPI. So maybe watch out for the PPI, the next PPI report with regards to how inflation is progressing. And he said what the Fed really needs to be mindful of is if any overheating or changes we see have anything to do with tariffs or if they're emblematic of a larger problem. So that is, I think, really worth noting here as well. He basically said, too, that the long-term rates are set by these market forces. So really, it's going to depend on what the market's doing. We know there has been caution about tariffs. And we did also have comments from Fed Goolsby saying that the state of the tariffs does make it a little bit harder to discern what the timeline of things is going to be. So more tariff concerns coming from Fed members here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. I've been keeping an eye here on DJT, guys, and it looks like we're rejecting that 30 penny level again. So we had a lot of trouble with 30 pennies initially. As you can see, that's why I was taking out so many outs over here. And then we got the spike. Depending on what time frame you look at it, it could just be a wick, right? On the 1 minute, it's not going to look like a wick, obviously, because we spent more than a minute above that $32.50 level. But here we go. We got back into 30, and now we're rejecting again. So it looks like we're down. We're going to go down to 32. This trade is not going to go against me. I promise you that. Oh, wow. My stop has been moved up to break even. I'm long just south of 32, and here we go, 32.02 now, breaking down. So unless it bounces up here, well, then that's going to be the end of the trade for me. So only have 3 more outs left on DJT. Sad I didn't de-risk into 32.60 like, my inclination was to, but that's neither here nor there. We've got to deal with the trade we've got on at the moment, so it's going to have to hold 32. Otherwise, the trade is over for me. So that's the look there. Dragos, I know, brother. I was telling Joseph today, Joey, they canceled the Canelo versus Crawford fight today. So disappointed about that. I don't know why you didn't get the reasons, did you?
No.
Yeah. Dragos, if you know the reason, let me know, brother, because I know that Turkey Sheikhs complained about, what's that? About,
I just downloaded Duolingo. Look who shows up.
No way.
No way.
I showed up as a friend. Yes, Ram. Look, Ram, I'm doing at least half an hour, 45 minutes a day. I'm a power user. No, seriously, though. What was I saying, bro? Yeah, Turkey Sheikhs, he's complained about, I told you about this with Canelo. He's accused Canelo of asking for too much money because he doesn't want the fight. It's either he thinks, he's money bags, right? We know Turkey Sheikhs is money bags. We're not going to argue that. That's fine. But he's trying to basically make it look like Turkey is not the one who wants to fight. He's been accusing him of this, Joseph. And Canelo's the only guy who hasn't put up a fight, I think, on a Turkey, on a Riyadh season. Is it called Riyadh season, right? Yeah, Riyadh season promotion card. Now, a lot of people, they don't like what Turkey's doing because he's throwing around money, Some people, they feel some sort of way about that. I'll submit to you, I'll take those fights, especially in boxing, when we haven't been able to get the main fights done because there's so many dang promoters who are all self-interested.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. My friends and I were talking about it this morning. And I've been saying this for a long time. you need somebody to come in and just clean up all of these organizations, offer ridiculous amounts of money, and make boxing like half decent again, right? Because I mean, too many promotions, too many weight divisions, and too many champions, and nobody knows half of these guys' names. So it's time to come in here and clean it up, man. Yeah, no, but it's been like this for too long, man. And I think it shows like a lot of disinterest within boxing. Like you go onto ESPN or whatever it be, and it's like Showtime boxing on Saturday nights or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's like, who are these guys? Nobody knows. But if you go to like a UFC fight night or like a PFL, you can actually be like, okay, there's a couple guys that you know on there, even though it's not like a main card or anything along those lines. But there's just too many no names in boxing. But you know what the thing is about boxing, though? You know what the thing is about boxing, Sharif?
What's up?
Like I can just go pro. Like you pay a fee, right? And then you can just go pro. Like, and it doesn't mean you're going to be good or going to get those fights. You still need to beat individuals, but there's no real threshold for like, okay, you need this, you need to accomplish this. There's rankings in the amateurs. You got to beat these guys in order to elevate and take it to the next level. Exactly. That's why you have these no-name guys. Like I remember Amanda Serrano fought some other lady, and it's like, who is it? They shouldn't even have been fighting each other. I don't know. It was a couple fights ago because just the skill level was just absolutely too vast. So yeah, someone's got to come clean it up, and then maybe the sport will be entertaining again. Said. But as of right now, it's not looking like the case, guys. But here we go. MSFT, yeah, the market really coming in now, guys. Let's pull up SPY. And see what we got going on. So this consolidation phase, not looking too pretty as that momentum to the downside is continuing to pick up here. But guys, we're going to talk more about the overall market right after we get this ad read done. E-Signal, guys. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Foresee profitable opportunities with the platform you need. Infinite data, instant trading, know where the market is moving before others with lightning fast data. Charts that change the game. Customize and analyze markets faster your way. Better backtesting and scanning. Predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable real-time data, up-to-the-second market info from hundreds of global markets. Everything you need all in one place. Don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. There we go.
Joseph, Goolsby has been dropping hot lines. I think he started around 130. I'm not 100% sure. I'm seeing 130 here. Here's what he said. So, Fed Goolsby, tariff impacts will make it more complicated to determine what is overheating and what is a one-time price change. Here is the article. If you'd like to read it, you can screenshot there. Then there's more. Fed's Goolsby says effects of tariff on inflation may be hard to discern. Says first order effect of tariffs on prices may be less important than the possible impact on expectations. He goes on to say, Fed's Goolsby says appearance that inflation has stalled is largely due to base effects, says Fed needs to be more mindful of overheating and deterioration, but things are largely going well. That doesn't seem so bad, except for the, the question mark there about tariffs. And I think all of us have those question marks. I know I do. And I mentioned that about my positions, whether it was Apple or some others, how tariffs would affect those trades or those investments. So random oddities. Goolsby hotline sounds creepy. Yes, I know a little bit there. Shout out to the Gould one. All right, guys, I took out what's it called? DJT at 3210. And the reason I did that because I just felt it was coming, it was going to break down. It breaks down now below 32, bottoming there at 31.88. It's still tradable. I mean, like, it's still above the 20. It's still above VWAP. It's positive on the day. It's just below my entry. I didn't want to have to nurse this one. So the DJT trade is done. We'll take out the last little bit there for a very light 13 penny winner from that. So that's a look right now. Donald John Trump is in a pseudo Donald John dump below 32 right now. So keep your eye out on this one and be careful, okay? because we've seen DJT do this same song and dance before, and the bottom can drop off in the same way that it can explode to the high side. So VWAP, let me just tell you guys that the trade is not done on DJT. I perceive the volume weighted average price, at least on my chart, to be at around 31.5, maybe a little bit higher than that $0.50. That is an interesting area to possibly take DJT off. I don't know if I'd have a resting order at that area to just get filled. If it comes down there, I'd have to see exactly how the trade is manifesting, and then maybe I'd make that decision. But you know what is bouncing off VWAP? We don't need to guess if it's doing it or not. Is QNTM. Why would you do that to me? I got excited. So this one, this is a mistrade by me, full stop. That's just the truth of the matter. This is not something I didn't have eyes on. I chose not to punch in on QNTM at VWAP because I didn't want to give the profits back. That is a mistake by me, and now it is on its way up into 16 bucks. The thing about this one, though, is don't be so sure that the $18 level is going to break because, well, we still have lower highs. You have 3 successive lower highs there, and you have lower lows as well. So it's a downward channel bouncing off, I would say, a predictable area at the volume weighted average price. What I would be looking for, it looks like we double topped there at 1650. You had this candle reject, and then we had a whole bunch of trouble breaking above 1650 for about half an hour or so. So maybe something around 1650 foreshadows a possible $18 break. Put some respect on this one's name, 83%, 84%. So it's up big on the day. It's holding key levels. I'm talking about QNTM. It is the #1 gapper. That's wrong. It's LTRY that's a #1 gapper, but this one trading below VWAP, not for me. And this is why I say it's not for me. Look how many attempts it's had at VWAP. Imagine I got in here. It didn't close above there. Imagine I got in here and then I'd have to deal with this one breaking back down. That's why I say it's got to hang out above VWAP. Once it loses VWAP and it retraces back up, it's got to hang out above there. It can't just be a quick wick and then a move back up. So we're still involved in RR, which I'm flat on. It's still putting in higher lows. Could be maybe a flat top break through 295s. I'm not that optimistic on it, but based upon where my stop is and where the price action is right now, I just see no reason to get out, Joseph. How's that NVIDIA long doing?
I mean, we're climbing. We're going to touch the high days again, man, but Google is absolutely soaring to the top side now, Sharif. Woo. Now turning around to be positive on the session. Up about 0.4% here, guys. That volume really starting to step in on this 1 minute time frame here as we push higher, forming that same pattern that NVDA was earlier, but now just breaking out significantly stronger than NVDA. Tesla is moving as well too. So some of these big names are really starting to pick up some steam, guys. It's dragging the Qs up along with it. So whatever that short duration selling was going on, it seems to be over as of right now. And I was looking at ARM not too long ago. A little bit tough price action, but we'll talk about that in a second because we got to keep our eyes out here on Google. We're a little bit late to the dance, so we can't chase this one all the way up here. But around that 190, 191 level would have been an ideal entry. It's not going to be the case today, so unfortunately we missed that one. But what we are in is some IBIT, and to be honest with you, I think I'm going to get out of this trade because I don't love this thing right now. So what we'll do is we'll take the majority of it off here just because I don't think it's going to recover. But why were we in this? Let's show and dive a little bit deeper because it was essentially the same thesis as Meta and some of these other signals that we look at. There we go. So here we go on IBIT, guys, why I decided to grab it. So extensive selling here throughout the whole session. This gap up just completely filled and then breaching it more to the downside. But this candle print right here, I told you guys, crypto doesn't necessarily respect these prints as some common stock would. But I mean, here we go here. Let's see if we can get this bounce to continue. We took the majority off already. So let's see if we can get back to VWAP at least maybe here on IBIT. I think that might be a little bit much to ask for with only a couple hours left in the session. But with the overall market pretty strong, I mean, anything can happen. So.
All right, man. We got a couple of questions. Sharat Rahman, boss man. Question for you and Joe, but I can't tag him. You should be able to, brother. If you buy, this is down your alley, Joseph, so get ready. If you buy a call option at the current price, if you buy a call option at the current price is better than, say, buying a strike price that's $5 or $10 higher. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, let me read it here. So, man, question for you. but I can. If you buy a call option at the current price, is that better than buying a strike price that is $5 or $10 higher? Okay, so there's multiple factors. There's not necessarily a straight up answer with that. One thing that you need to understand about options, and we talked about it not too long ago, is why people say the power of options is you have the ability to manipulate the contracts in many ways. It depends what strategy, and what I'm getting at, it depends what strategy you're employing. Now, if you're extremely bullish on this underlying asset and you're looking for it to appreciate relatively quickly, that is when you're going to buy those out the money calls, all right? You're looking to gain that extrinsic value within those underlying assets in rapidly a quick time. That's when you look to buy out the money. But again, if you're looking to buy at the money, when you're saying at the current price, that is what you're referring to as at the money, is something that you're looking, hey, okay, we're going to buy some time on this contract, but I'm not necessarily thinking or looking to gain that extrinsic value, i.e. time value on that contract. So it really, really depends on what kind of system you're employing. If you think that there's going to be a massive spike in implied volatility, then that's when you would look to buy those out the money calls, because now you own that contract at the rights. But what happens in options contract pricing is time value is priced into it. So now when you buy those out the money calls, and then that price starts to appreciate and gets closer to your strike price, you're now locking in extrinsic and intrinsic value, okay? So from a moneyness standpoint, you need that intrinsic value you need to be positive to have that intrinsic value, all right? Otherwise, it's only time value, and that's where buying out the money comes really key. And you see those outsized gains that a lot of people have where you're hitting those 200% and 300% returns. That may be somewhat of a complex answer. I tried to break it down as simple as I could. Hopefully that helped you. But again, if you're thinking that there's going to be a rapid increase in price, then that's when you can look to buy those out the money calls. You can also buy at the money as well too, right? So you'll gain extrinsic and intrinsic value. So intrinsic value being, for example, if we were to buy the 528 strike price on the call, or I'll use this as an example. So 527 strike price on the Qs, right? 527. We're now trading at 528. That contract now has $1.50 of intrinsic value, okay? So that's the moneyness of the contract, but then you also have the time value as well too. Hopefully I didn't confuse you on that. It's a lot of information to take in. You definitely have to do some due diligence on your own as well in that aspect. But for me, when I am purchasing, just going long contracts, I typically buy at the monies because I'm not necessarily expecting or employing a strategy where implied volatility is going to kick into the underlying asset and really start to appreciate that price, where I can buy something out the money and then you look to sell it when it gets at the money or closer, because those percentage gains are going to really increase as you get closer and closer to that strike price that you bought out the money. So a lot of stuff may seem extremely complicated. Hopefully that helped you, but it's not as complicated as I maybe just described it. The only way I can really explain it to you. The more comfortable you get with it, the more you'll understanding is that it's truly not as complex as it may sound. So it's really up to you on what strategy you're looking to employ there, my friend.
All right, Joseph, let's talk a little bit about the earnings plays that we have after the bell. Don't forget, myself, the Katina Man, and the Human Algo, Adara, are going to all be on the Market Recap show. Speaking of Adara, we're sending it to her, then we're going to talk a little earnings.
Come to me, please, here. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? Okay, sorry about that, guys. It's been a long week. We have WSC, though, speaking of longs, pushing sharply to the upside with volume. This company is called Will Scott Holdings, and I'm seeing here some speculation that this company and its containers could actually be considered for housing migrants here by the Trump administration. So apparently the Trump team is considering a container company. It's unclear if this is the container company they're considering, just based on how the headline's worded. But either way, WSC here spiking with increased volume on reports that Trump is looking at container companies to house migrants. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. All right, here's the deal. Let's go to the screen. Let's talk about some of these earnings plays. Amazon. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is reporting, and I'm going to give you guys the time. Amazon, we're expecting right at 4 o'clock, okay? Now, sometimes it comes right out at 4 o'clock. Sometimes it takes a little bit there. So expect this one quick as you like. We're looking for a move about 6.5% plus or minus. Last time we got just around that. We got around 6.2%. Fortinet, the cybersecurity name, and we know how heavily beta these ones are. This one's expected Fortinet to report at 4:05, okay? So this one will come out 5 minutes after the expected move, 10.3. We got about 10 last time, so good look there. Cloudflare, Net, this one's expected at 4:15 with the conference call for this one being at 5. We're expecting a wide move for this one at 11.3. Last time we got a drop of 4.6, so there's that as well. Take-Two Interactive. Also, we're looking at that. TTWO reporting at 4:05 expected. That's a decent move as well. 6.8 last time. We got an up move of 7.5. Monolithic Power, MPWR, 13.9% expected move there. Where is MPWR in time? This one's going to report likely at 4 o'clock. Last time we got a drop, 17.5% on MPWR. We'll talk about some more because there's a lot of earnings plays today. We're going to send it to Adair for a second, though.
Keep an eye here on Palantir. People were looking for news on this earlier, and I just saw a story, though I'm not sure if it's what pushes to the upside, but either way, it's pretty interesting. Around 7 a.m. this morning, the company did announce that they've added Grok AI into its enterprise. So apparently, Elon Musk's Grok being added here to Palantir's enterprise suite, though again, this was announced earlier today. Unclear if that is the reason for the spike, but I think worth knowing regardless. Also, I have more details on that story that pushed WSC to the upside that is called Will Scott Corp. Basically, there is some report from Semaphore suggesting that Donald Trump's team is considering a private container company for migrant housing, a private shipping container company. So it's unclear if this is WSC, of course, especially because they are publicly traded. But regardless, WSC moving up in sympathy with that as they are a container company. Back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to have to digress. Okay, I'm talking about these earnings plays. Apparently, this is coming in live right now vis-a-vis Ring Magazine. Canelo and Jake Paul apparently is a done deal. What the hell is going? Wait till Joe gets back. Jake Paul and Canelo apparently is a done deal, reports Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, obviously a big-time boxing promoter. This is being reported by Ring Magazine. I kind of want to see if this is real or not. Let's get back to these earnings plays. Wait till Joe gets back and hear what he has to say. Pinterest. This one, we're expecting pins at 4:05. We're going to get likely a big move. Last time we got around 13.4. This time expected 14%. Or sorry, 13.4. Last time we got a drop of 14%. Then Affirm. We know Affirm's a big mover. Affirm last time moved 14.3%. This time, we're expecting a 14.3% move. Last time we got about a drop, 4.5% drop. Affirm is scheduled to report at around 4:05. Have a look at this, Joseph.
What's that, brother?
Here you go, bro. Can you believe this? Eddie Hearn is reporting that this is done deal.
There's no way.
Okay. As I'm hearing, Canelo versus Paul is done.
There's no way. So that's why. No, you know what? My one of my best friends said to me, so Bud and Canelo planned on having a fight in between, and this might be it between their fight. So now this might be that fight.
Well, that makes sense.
But that doesn't even make sense because Jake Paul just said he was going to fight his brother.
Well, we heard that. And we haven't heard a whole lot about that lately, though.
No, we haven't. I thought it was a hoax, man.
This is crazy, this stuff that's happening right now, man. A couple of more here. Let's just...
that's crazy, man. Wow, Jake Paul is going to get KO'd for the first time.
Yep. Well, he's bigger than Canelo, though. But
he's
Canelo
much bigger.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at there, guys. Let's just go back to the screen if we can. Expedia as well. I don't know. It's not much of a mover. That one's expected to report at 4, a plus or minus 9.7% move. Last time we got about 3.8 to the high side. That's that's basically it. I mean, there's some others, obviously. Clean Spark is reporting as well at 4:05. Let's see here, Microchip Technologies, MCHP is reporting as well. So we're definitely going to have most of these for you live on the Market Recap Show. Make sure to join Adair, myself, and the and the Katina Man. Thank you, Adara, for sending those. I appreciate that. Jorge Bados dropping the cash in the chat. My man's dropping a 20 note right there, Joseph.
Yeah, big one.
Greetings, friends. Joe, what's your opinion in taking position at the money with 4 months expiration date? I'm assuming that's what they meant.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. Yeah, I like that. You're buying time. I mean, in my opinion, just spend a little extra cash on time. If you think you need a month or 2 months, double it, triple it. That's just my opinion. The more time, the better. The less stressful you'll be because if you start to get closer to your expiration date and the underlying hasn't moved in your favor and theta really starts to kick in, you're not going to be a happy camper. So more time, the better for you. So I like that 4 month out. Even punch it out another month, in my opinion, if you're looking for that type of swing. But I like what you're thinking so far, Jorge.
I like it. And RC reporting or saying to me that MMA Fighting is reporting that same headline as well. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, the only thing is to hear it from them. I mean, Canelo and Jake Paul apparently. Katina is getting pumped.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna get dealt with right now. Neil just informed me that Jake Paul has a 60-pound weight advantage versus Canelo. We know Canelo
he has like 4 inches on him too, right? What's Jake Paul, like 6'1" or 6'2" or something?
Something like that.
Canelo's like my height, like 5'9" or whatever it is. He's not that big, but I mean, it's the skill, dude, and the power.
Absolutely.
And the experience, right? Like, it's the experience, so.
And let's be honest. What do you think Canelo walks around at?
Yeah,
$185,
exactly, easily, right? So so he's not going to have to go through any cut or anything like that. And we know Canelo's
likely going to be a catch weight too. Probably.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And we know Canelo's had some history with tainted meat, so.
Hold on, that's tainted meat, right? Are we doing these?
We're doing the tainted meat.
Good, understand.
Right.
Say less, Joseph. Tainted meat. There you go.
That's it. Okay.
All right, Donald John Pump is back at that key critical 30 penny level. We've rejected multiple times off that 30 penny level.
5'7", you said, be honest. Yeah, he's probably closer to 5'7", yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he's 5'7", he's 5'7", right? Guys, DJT, this is the level that I've been keeping my eye on. We're still zigging and zagging right now at this level. We haven't cleared it with any vigor, but this was a level that we rejected when we tried to bounce back up and maybe test those highs. If this 32.30 level gets taken decisively, this could be a long and a test of the high of the day. It did breach 32. It kind of went into no man's land. This is an area I didn't earmark, this 31.80, 31.85. That bounced, there it goes. I knew it, into the 40 penny area. DJT likely going to take out the highs now, guys. 32.45. The high of the day is 60. Here's 50 pennies. Good move up here for Donald John Pump. Let's see what this one does. We've got a minute left on the show, so I'm not punching in here, but this one is on one. Be careful, though. The bottom can drop off, but that 32.30 level, a critical level of, I perceive to be resistance, just got taken. Now we're just looking at the 50 penny level and then the 60 penny level, which is the high of the day. If we clear that, we haven't been up at these levels in a long time. At least I haven't been trading DJT in a while, so maybe I'm wrong about that. But this is a good. Let's actually do some charting since one of the big kahunas is still putting on the mic. Let's have a look quickly. I didn't say. But yeah, we have been, Katina, man. We've been up here. We've been up here back on the 29th. We weaseled up into that 35. So this is a predictable level that we've been at before. Let's see if we reject. There is some resistance around here just based on the closing prints or the opening prints, especially this red candle right around the high 32s. And then if I'm looking at resistance, we're definitely looking at that 32.75, a little bit of an interaction with that level. Guys, but it is time to send you to the Big Boy Show. Again, make sure to catch the market recap with us tonight. We have some definite amazing earnings. But Joseph, send them off with kindness, baby.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we did some credit spreads part 1, but next week we're going to get into some time of sales as well, guys. So looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be pretty good and really interesting as we dive deeper into the market dynamics.
See you guys tomorrow.
He's out of shape. Canelo's out of shape.
Well, no. Okay, say, welcome back, everybody. And yeah, the market is market's near the highs. We ain't got no earnings tonight. Earnings. What earnings?
What's the earnings?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Okay.
Amazon.
Okay, what else?
Affirm.
Okay.
Pinterest. No, I'm just.
But we have Amazon.
We have Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon's.
Pinterest. Weren't you a Pinterest guy?
You know what? So, and this is.
Get it. Somebody.
Well, I bought a lot of stuff everybody did during COVID,
Yes.
like the COVID bottoms. But if I look at like the crappier, riskier stuff that I bought, it was Affirm, it was Pinterest, and Pfizer. Pfizer's different. And you know what was who told me the guy who mentioned it was like I looked at it and bought it that day. It was Kevin. You remember Kevin on the trading floor? So that worked out really well. I can tell you this.
Well, that was Pfizer, was his?
Pfizer.
Oh, Pfizer.
And like a genius, I did hold on to the last 20% of Pfizer, so it came all the way back. And that's just a lesson for everybody, because if you buy something you're buying it because of COVID, you're buying it because of maybe it's like whatever it is. There's an event. It's more of a trade than an investment. You know, when the back end comes back in, like at some point you should get out of it. I held on to Affirm on the way back way too long, I think. Oh, Lemonade, that was the other one.
Where's
Lemonade? That one I didn't hold on to, and I got out of it really well. And most of it, we had the chat was going on, and I remember sort of talking about, Lemonade, maybe it'll be good. My wife's in insurance. And then I literally had the discussion with my wife worked in the industry, and her boss went to his house, had a conversation about the industry in general. It was like, I'm selling my Lemonade tomorrow.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Like, these guys aren't close. No, the stocks rebounded pretty well. But we're back. We were actually talking about the Canelo Jake thing. My thing is, I don't care how talented you are, and obviously Canelo is from a skill standpoint. I mean, like whatever, he's legit. He's been one of the best fighters of all time.
Get it?
But is he really going to be dedicated enough to be in the type of shape and care enough to take on a guy who's 60 pounds heavier than him? Because he better come in really good shape. I don't care who you are. Like that's that big of a size and weight advantage. If you're not actually putting the effort in, which is he going to? I have no idea. That's a big boy. You only that's
huge. I thought he was fighting his brother. What was going on?
To be honest, Canelo, I'm taller than Canelo.
Yeah.
But I don't weigh that much more than Canelo. Like, just to give you an idea, I think I weigh like 8 pounds more than Canelo Alvarez. Like the guy is like 165, 170.
Yeah, but the guy's quick. The guy's not.
No, I know he is. I'm just saying, like, Jake is a big boy.
Yeah.
He gets you one
This
time.
is their fight. Is that official? They're fighting?
I don't know. They said they're fighting.
Boxing or MMA? Because I heard
it's got to be boxing. It has to be boxing. It's got to be. Yeah. Anyways, Canelo's
should be able to beat him. For sure.
But will he actually come in? Will he be dedicated to the shape, or is it just a payday?
And self-worth, yeah, he will.
Some guys just want to get paid. I don't know.
Right. So why wouldn't? That's what I'm saying. If he has anything to him, so he doesn't want to get knocked out by Jake Paul.
Okay, 170, 215. So it's not 60 pounds, 45. I thought Jake was whatever.
Anyways, whatever.
I thought Canelo was on. Isn't he like 165, not 170?
If one gained 10 and one cut 10, you're getting close.
Big boy.
Okay, so
Big boy.
96,000 for Bitcoin. Like, wow, what's up with that?
What happened to IBIT?
Right now. So what happened to IBIT is right. Like, I was just not expecting this kind
the
of.
The DJT ETF, man.
Oh yeah, the DJT is blasting off. This is Bitcoin right here. I don't think when you zoom out, you don't feel as bad about anything, right? So here's the Bitcoin chart down here at over here at 96,000. Ramin, there it is right there. So yeah, it doesn't look so bad. You are under the 50-period moving average. Obviously, we talked about we don't really like that, but you're nowhere near the 200, which is down to 78,000. This looks fine to me. I mean, if we look at a chart of Alphabet or NVIDIA, I guess, in and around that 120, 123 mark. I mean, you do get dip buy opportunities, and this just might be one in Bitcoin. I don't want to think the cows are coming home on this. Like, that's 92,000. If we break and stay under there and we really start to turn upside down on the 50 period, then that'd be something else. But for right now, I'm pretty confident in watching out for that. We did have a call on IBIT. I mean, NVIDIA right now is still trying to make these highs. I just got out of a piece of NVIDIA because we're long right where we wanted to. We actually tweeted out a chart there, and what we wanted to look for in NVIDIA today was this long right here between 125 and 126, right? We tweeted that level out, 125 to 126 long. You have to have yourself at least $1 worth of a spot there. So let me just throw this up right here because it was a sticky note. I don't even know where my sticky note animations are. We don't need that. There it is, this one here. But at the end of the day, it was that area for support, and it looks like that is what came in. So we did pretty good, and now we ride this 50 period all the way up. And I just wanted to show that it looked like we were breaking through the 50 period, so I did take something out on that break there, 128.15. Still long NVIDIA, Palantir. I see you got Piton, which is good. I'm glad that.
Well, to the south side. But
I'm glad
I was long Peloton earlier, but
bad.
Peloton's actually not doing that well. I just saw in the chat, someone just said, the Russell, what's going on with the Russell? And I hadn't pulled this up in a while. I don't know if you've seen a chart of the Russell. Like, look at the 50 period and the resistance on IWM at 230. Can you say flat top break, maybe?
Get it, IWM.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm laughing at that. For some reason, like every single time someone says the get it, I'm just dying. But no, the 230 on the Russell looks interesting. That looks very, very spicy to me. I mean, obviously, it's moving. It's not going to break it today at the rate it's going because the Russell is weak and everything else is strong. But once again, it just keeps rejecting 230.
NASDAQ is now the strongest. It overtook
the ES. Yeah, the NASDAQ passed the ES. Well,
ES was stronger in the morning, I thought.
Well, we have NVIDIA up at the top.
Disney could be
Apple's
a stock.
flat.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we do have what is known as the rundown. It's something that you guys vote on during the midday show. And we just, keep going in the chat, man. Lots of great stuff in the chat. BBAI talking about that, LTRY, so on and so forth. But all right, Sharif's at the big screen, so let's go find out the number one stock on the rundown. Run the bumper.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. You saw the boys. They're already here. They're locked and they're loaded, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers on there is to join Joe and I during the How to Trade show, during the midday, and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But it's a subs-only chat, so you got to be liking, subscribing, and then hopefully sharing as well. Here's a look at the triple Qs. The NQ's up 0.25% on the day. Likewise with the ES, looks as if it's up about 0.1%. Down is the Dow, down about 0.4. Likewise with the Russell 2000, down 0.43. Neil showing you the resistance level there. We'll keep a look at that on IWM as well. Palantir, Sean, is the first ticker as decided by every, breaking into more all-time highs after earnings. This thing is rocketing up another 6.25% today. Looks like obviously reflecting the good and strong Q4 report that they issued not that long ago. Kathy Wood took the opportunity yesterday to sell some. She was selling shares as the rally cools down, this article says. I guess they didn't really see what happened today. And she also dumps about $7 million worth of Robinhood. Tell her to not call while I'm speaking, please.
Like I'll tell her next time I see her, because the thing is, like, I already want to talk to her tonight, because like she's missed this whole move there if she was selling yesterday.
No, hold on, no. I see 0.13% of her position. It says it's sold.
What, 0.13 of her position? But that might be right. What did Sharif say?
No, it's just a ridiculously small amount.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a back and forth thing. Look, you got to sell at some point. We talked about that. I mean, it's not uncommon to sell ahead of earnings and after day one or day two, and now day three right now of Palantir. Look, Palantir will be a good stock for me today. We did not participate in it until 10:30, which is kind of a shame. And someone asked Sharif in the midday, and I didn't want to interrupt, but they said, like, should we be buying stock at highs? And I bought Palantir right here at highs. Like, it had already gone up. The only suggestion I have is when you buy stock at high, you don't go all in at that point, because if you're wrong, you're going to get sell-off. It doesn't mean the trend is necessarily over. And that's basically what happened here. We bought the high, then it bounced around 107.50, 108-ish. Then it fell back into 107, and we just played off this 50-period moving average. Was absolutely huge until up to 108.50. That was the whole trade there. We bought it once, twice, thrice, boom, to the upside. That this is where it got a little spicy, because the 50 period wouldn't have been here at that point, because I wouldn't have done this underneath. So I'm thinking it came into the 50 period. We were looking at 107. It breaks through 107. We get out. Then we do the patented play again where it holds. It actually broke up and we missed it. Then it came back in and we bought it. So we bought off a predefined bottom again. That bottom does not break, and then the rest is history. Not a huge position this last one. We're still holding a little bit out. Palantir still for the win. I like the stock. I had Brian Shannon on Tuesday, and we sort of ended the show with, I said to him, what do we do, man? It's on an island up here. We just went from 82 to 102 in one day. He goes, let it be. And there it goes, man. I asked him the same question when it went from 50 to 58, and we didn't sell anything since then. So nice move up for Palantir. It's a huge stock. I cannot believe it's up 6%. Was not on my radar. Glad it was late, but it wasn't on early. I didn't see a catalyst, but I guess it doesn't need one.
Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be.
Yep.
Great song. Actually, there was a line on the chart. I know you probably, if you zoom out, you'll remember why it was a good level. Because same trade, but the only thing is, what did it do? When you let something fly, the only level you have oftentimes when a stock is doing this is what is the prior high. So when it pulled back, it literally pulled into the prior all-time high, which it made 2 days ago, and it bounced from there. So I think every single day on this run on Palantir, wherever it goes, if it doesn't make another high today, then 108.65 is that top. If it breaks it out tomorrow and pulls back, then probably want a 108.65 or 108.50 long at some point. Or maybe we'll get VWAP in now that's the prior day high is going to be VWAP. So there are, after the break, there's going to be levels you can play, but it's so true about, have a plan of action when you buy highs or sell the absolute bottom. Because it plays in both directions, as Sean mentioned there. The trend is your friend, has done nothing but trend higher. Just a correction, today it was 0.13 she sold 1.64 yesterday, so just under 2%. Is what Kathy is selling. Ooh. It's interesting. See, the real thing that I'm always curious about is okay, well, what's she buying on those days? CRISPR and whatever TWST is. And I don't know what that is. So she bought Twist Biosciences and CRISPR on the day that she sold some in the last 2 days she sold some Palantir. I don't know. CRISPR I know. I don't know this other one.
All right, guys, NVIDIA next over here. The recovery continues, taking out the highs. We're up 2.8%. Looks as if, this DeepSeek sell-off is being touted by analysts as a possible buying opportunity. There's really no specific catalyst on it today. We got ARM reporting yesterday as well as Qualcomm. Both mixed reports. Both didn't have an effect on NVIDIA at the day's high.
40 and change. Yeah, just... NVIDIA's not breaking this 128.50. We sort of talked about what we wanted to do. Again, I trade the same names. We already talked about this, the levels. So we drew it for you, and of course our chart doesn't save the drawing. But I like the long. Nothing ever really went against us here at all today. And it just kept working. And this trend, we saw it yesterday. Here's yesterday. This is yesterday's chart. This is today's chart. It's yesterday. Today, it's very, very similar trajectories there. I just think you want to stay long until it's broken, and it's not broken. So it's a nice move back up there to the upside. I'm going to call up the E-signal chart here to show you, because I want to show you what the split's involved and everything like that as well. And we talked about how Meta's had 13 straight up days mixed in there with that earnings little up and down there. But NVIDIA's really recovering. We had that little. I mean, it depends on what we think about DeepSeek. It's already out there and it's a thing. So you're going to have to deal with it. And NVIDIA's stock price kind of dealt with it already. It was up at 150, it was going to break highs. And then we would have no worries about this. But unfortunately, things happen. And it was washed down here. Weak hands or not, those that were nervous about possible CapEx spending decreasing, possible building of AI, this next revolution without, the high-powered chips of NVIDIA. Whether or not that scared you, you're still in the same picture. You could get out now on that bump, or maybe you did get wiped out down here on a liquidation point at 115-ish or so. But now, since that bottom, you've had quite a nice move up. Let's not forget, this is the fourth day now, and you're up over $14 on 114. So you're up about 12 or 13% on the largest market cap name in the world, while we have all of this DeepSeek stuff happening underneath of it. So for me, I would say stay long the name. I'm not really panicking out of this trade. We have less shares on it. We'll look to get longer. Now, because we're just dancing around the 50-period moving average, there's not much there for me, so it has to come back at least to the 200. That's 127.60. We'll see if we get there. But ideally, a trade would be 127. I mean, it just looks so good there off VWAP. Also, these highs that we sort of, past resistance become support. I really like a 127 long. I bet you that's sticky no play tomorrow if the market doesn't do anything into close. So,
or 129 break.
Or would you go long there on a 129 break?
Oh, so actually, what's weird is I actually didn't finish my note this morning. I typed CapEx and I was like, continuation long, but I didn't write the levels down. But it was 129 break and 125 dip. Now I messed up the 125 dip. First one good, second one bad, and didn't get back in. I did get to. Oh, we're going to talk about ARM next.
Oh, okay.
Is Uber at $70?
Yeah, man, Uber has been awesome. I was thinking about dumping some Uber shares. Now I'm like, no.
That's crazy. But no, 129. If we do get a 129 break, I still like that. I don't see why not. That's a hefty gap. No, $13. What? That's a bigger gap than that. I'd take a shot at that. If we break 129 today, it can happen on NVIDIA. Just very quickly, Big Bear AI, which is not on our list. It's interesting we never have any small caps on that list, which was fine. It's just I noticed there's always a lot of chatter about the small caps in the midday, but then none of them ever make that list. So Big Bear has been consolidating for the last 2 days. And I just look at it. It's been losing the 750 battle every single time. So I wanted to be building into it. Because if this goes, this is just an afternoon and a full day's worth of consolidation on Big Bear AI. As long as it's above VWAP, look long and see why couldn't it just go to 8? It's not a day 2 play because it's been running for a while, but there's the big break at 5 and it's day 2 after that on Big Bear AI. Yeah, I think this one's got a really good chance. And let's talk about ARM's earning miss.
That's the thing, Neil. That's why I put the question mark. Was it really a miss? I mean, they had an inline expectation for Q4 revenue. I guess that was really the only bad thing that I could find about the report. And that makes sense because Goldman and all these analysts right here all boosted their price target. On ARM, case in point, 159 to 174 from Goldman, 160 to 175 from JP Morgan. Likewise with Jefferies, even a bigger boost here from 170 to 195, guys. So aside from that revenue inline expectations, there wasn't a whole lot wrong. Licensing grew, so did royalties as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on this, see how it recovers if it does.
I said this in the morning, and I'm going to say it again. There are a lot of really good reasons to tune into the Market Recap Show, right? You're going to have fun, you're going to have the Murderer's Row, you're going to have Sean, Adara, and Sharif. You're going to get to see earnings in real time, get the analysis, get the movement. But every now and then, you're going to see some distinct price action live when you're getting a reaction to that news. And yesterday in ARM, we saw this, we all saw it together in the aftermarket show. Multiple times it bounced off this 159. We all saw it. It caught a couple of bids down there after it was tanking. Well, I'm not saying you got to trade it in the aftermarket because that's obviously risky. It's not the same thing. But at the open, look at it hold the bid off that same 159. So I'm slapping fail on myself. I mean, heck, I was watching it there with you guys, guys and girls. It's just unbelievable. I took it one time off of VWAP, but ARM, let it settle down for a couple of days. If you want to talk valuation, then I'm not going to sell you on why it's a good value play from a PE basis. But the recovery was pretty solid. It was down obviously significantly more than this. I do think you let it settle down for a couple of more days just to make sure they don't dump it. But it's above the 50 and the 200. I recently kind of DCA'd into it myself when it regained the 200-period moving average, but that's kind of my rule. Every quarter I'm buying the stocks. I already did that before the earnings play, and I'll just wait another couple months and probably buy again until I can get myself a full position, because I, like a lot of people, kept on thinking it was going to drop. And I didn't actually buy this thing until it was, I should have bought it at $50. It is what it is. And then I ended up buying it at $70-something, and at that, I only bought a small position in it, and then took half out of the small position, and then have been trying to build a position in ARM ever since because I got wrapped up on valuation. You know, you got to be able to learn from those mistakes, which I am going to start doing.
Yeah, good look there. I mean, I've never been into ARM, but I do like ARM. Yeah, I got the hat on right now because we are very, very excited to remind everybody that Hive Digital Technologies, under NASDAQ symbol HIVE, is pioneering the digital transformation through sustainable AI solutions and, of course, Bitcoin mining, a global leader in cutting-edge data center operations with over 2,700 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Hive consistently tops the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash and is redefining the future by powering the world's most transformative technologies with efficient, green, and clean energy. Learn more by following them at Hive Digital Tech or hivedigitaltech.com and sign up for their newsletter. Told the guy to send this hat over.
Take a flash the side.
Delivered.
On the side.
Was it show on the side? I didn't even notice. What does it say? The NASDAQ symbol? What? Oh, yeah, wow.
It's got the NASDAQ hot. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. NASDAQ represent, got the blue. Match your blue right there.
That's right. It was funny because
Cover up
we got
there.
extra hats and then Sharif took Ramin, so that was really funny. Yeah, I know. We're just playing around. Everybody gets so
Sharif.
sensitive around
Oh,
here.
Sharif. You want the blue one?
Oh, Fabian's got the blue one. There
How
it is, Fabian.
much you gonna pay for the blue one? We can do like a jersey thing. It's like when you want a number.
Worth more? Fabian, give me the blue
It's
one.
like you want the number. You want to wear 88 on
No, I'm
the
just playing around.
Cowboys?
I'm playing around. Just playing around.
I'll let you have the blue one for one apple fritter.
say, this has to involve
one
an
apple fritter a week.
A week?
Until
No, come
next
on, Neil.
next earning season.
One apple for a week is like
That's not-
$1.50 a week.
That's not that bad. It's the next earning season. Like you get
That's
a
fair.
Monday morning, I get an apple
you get the
fritter.
half, like $20, I guess.
You know, like that's not that bad. That's like how much does a hat go for? Like 30,
All right,
40
let's go get
bucks?
some apple fritters.
That's not a bad deal. You think I'm trying to gouge you or something? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That was very reasonable, I thought.
Neil looks like an old batting coach or something with that hat.
I
on,
should
you
be
know?
an old
It's like,
batting
yeah, exactly. It's like you're on the diamond. Yeah, man. We never see Neil in a hat. So
Yo, remember I actually forgot to tell the story yesterday because someone asked about what my best pitch was in high school, and I specifically said I was an outfielder. I didn't pitch.
Right.
And the one time I pitched a game in high school, and you should remember this, I shouldn't have had to pitch that day. But we shouldn't have had to play that game.
oh, you pitched that extra game.
Yeah, but we were in a tournament that we had no chance of doing anything. We couldn't win, and then if we won our next game, we had to play another game, despite the fact that we couldn't do
and I
anything.
went to the same high school.
And we had no pitchers that were left, and nobody that wanted to go. And of course, we were about to lose, so the next game wouldn't matter. Sean has to walk it off.
Yeah,
he just has to walk it off, and then we have nobody that wants to pitch the next game, so I got to throw 4 innings. And my
And
shoulder.
now you have Tommy John. So
My shoulder's never been the same. And the funny thing is, like I knew he's gonna walk this off, and we're gonna have to play another game, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, no one was happy. It was like the most uneventful moment of my life, pretty much.
It was a great rip. It was like a straight up line. It was a rope in the right field.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, it was.
You remember that? Yeah, that was right field. You're right there. Everything all right over there, Randy?
Better believe I remember. My shoulder.
Get Randy a mic, man. We got to get this guy in contract. Sign this man immediately. All right, Sharif. We'll talk about Amazon.
What are we talking
Randy,
about?
man. By the way, how's Clive doing? He's sleeping right now. Okay.
Isn't it?
Super chat. Boom. Hat paid to Sharif. There we go. So Matthew, so shout out right here. It is Mateus. Sorry,
is that me?
Mateus Lanes here. $30 super chat to get Sharif the hat. So.
Does that mean I have
there
to
it is.
actually
Thank
give
you.
it to him though? Like,
I don't know, Neil. I don't know.
All right, so-
thank you, Mateus. There.
Here, I
no,
guess
you
this
can
is-
keep that. We have extra.
we
hats.
have extras. Okay, good. Good. We have.
Okay, let's go back over. I already traded Big Bear AI, by the way. Big Bear, before we go to Sharif, just real quick, I just want to show this because Neil talked about it. So Big Bear AI was on the sticky note, breaking this basic level right there. It just did it again for the first time. So broke it early, it worked, then it didn't. Now it's breaking again. So I don't know, Randy. Ford right now making a downside move. How come no one ever wants to
stinks.
talk about Ford?
Because Ford's terrible.
Amazon and Ford should come up with a deal. With
No.
selling their cars.
No, you don't want that. We don't want Amazon dealing with Ford. I own Amazon shares.
Too many recalls or what?
Forget about that.
All right, I recall
Somebody else.
Sharif is waiting.
Yeah, that's true.
We're good. Shout out to Mateus Lane. Thank you very much for that super chat. Guys, Amazon reporting after the bell today. Expect it to be at 4 o'clock. Make sure to catch that with us on the Market Recap Show. Special version of that, myself, the Katina Man, and Adara. So here's what we're expecting. We're expecting $1.49 EPS on an eye-watering $187 billion and a third dollars in revenue. We'll have to see how they do. They printed about 169 and change last time on EPS of $1, so markedly higher expectations this time, guys. 4 o'clock expected earnings.
Expected earnings, eh? I wonder if the yachts will be on the balance sheet or not. But we have we have some big expectations here. That number that he just said is incredible. 187.28 estimated revenue for the quarter. Like $187.25 billion. I don't. Those.
It's like the Dodgers payroll.
It's like it can't be deferred for Ohtani or what. But at the end of the day, it's like, where are we even going here? Like, if they miss by like $100 million, are we going to sell this name off? I just don't know how sensitive we are to all this. EPS of 152, its implied move is 6%. I did the math, $16. So $16 down if we get the implied move of 6%, which we could get, right? Google was down 8, 9%, 10 at a maximum spot right there, and Google's still trying to come back day 2. But if you lose $16 on this, then you just kind of go right back here again, down to 220 again. And it reminds me of the stock today, Roblox, where Roblox was really off. I don't know, I'll have to check. I haven't seen Roblox in a minute, but Roblox was off, came back in, and then tried to battle back. Well, Amazon's not Roblox, and I think if you miss on Amazon, it probably has to be a has to be a buy. It's really been riding this 50-period moving average ever since those October lows. We did get underneath. I mean, there was some broken opportunities there in the market in August, and then boom, just straight to the upside. Things seem to be working. The football games, live sports there for Amazon Prime. Disney's number on the stream wasn't the greatest, but it also wasn't that bad. I think that'll be fine. We just worry about CapEx and the cloud. So we'll have to. Yeah. I mean, those are two big spots. I think it's fool's gold to try to guess and get into a position, but I am almost thinking flat.
If they miss,
I don't really have an opinion on it.
If they miss on cloud, then you're buying the 200 period. That's what I think is going to happen.
200 period.
What? Isn't
Where is the 200 period?
Before I say that, I should take a double.
You're not getting the 200.
I'm going to get back to. I want to get to Google in a second.
195.
Oh, never mind. I should. No.
Wow, bold call.
No, I gotta.
You might be right.
No.
Yeah, I'll show you the chart here.
No, let's go. Let's say 220.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like 220.
220 is the expected move.
222.22. Will Clark, absolute,
that's the exact
absolute
move.
Legend. Is 220, 222?
It's $16 is 6%. Yeah.
No, like I'll be guilty. I was just looking at a Google chart and Amazon's way past the 200. If you get the 200 period on Amazon, you're not mortgaging the house. It's like a figure of speech. No, you're get the wheelbarrow out. All right, so just one thing here on Google. I just got back into Alphabet on the same area, and it just lost a bit. So the NASDAQ pulled back a little bit. But Alphabet was taking it long, 191.5 into 192, then 191.25 into 191.5. Now it just lost a bid there and I got out. But lower highs here on Alphabet. I still like the general sense of the long, like the hold of 188, the higher low the next day. And then you're trying to at least get to the breakout, which would be maybe like 192.5 here on Alphabet. So far, it's still trending up. I like it. And I think if you see something like this from Amazon, try to remember how good the reversion was on Alphabet. Keep that in the front of your mind tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be talking about it. If Amazon's down as much as Alphabet, we'll be probably saying the same things, right? So it dipped and ripped twice, Google at the open yesterday. So if you have panic down move on Amazon and you're down 7, 8, 9% or something like that, this is what I'm looking for in a Mag 7 name that you like that kind of reaction. And if you can take a couple of swings at it, at the open, it's usually really quick, but the next one requires a little bit more patience with it. So that's my expectation. If we do get a miss on cloud, I think we could have an opportunity to trade it like we traded Alphabet. Let's talk about Uber, which is almost at 70.
What a recovery, Neil. I mean, look at that. Just a U-shaped recovery coming into those, possibly breaking $70, maybe taking out those highs that we saw before the earnings report. And then it really dropped aggressively. So, yeah, they're trading higher on the continued volatility. They reported yesterday morning, and it was not a good look. As you saw, we lost the majority of the bid. We held that $60 level, though, which has been holding on for weeks. Do we finally take out that $70 level, which has been a bit of a resistance level?
Just real quickly here, the market's falling in pretty well right now. I just took a very small position. We're gonna put on this is 1 unit. We're gonna put on basically 10 units down here if it comes in, almost a full position for NVIDIA down here at 127 if it comes in. So we're gonna wait for that to happen. We have 1 of 10 units right now. So if it comes in, our price will dramatically change. We're gonna rate at 127.15. I'm comfortable taking this many shares. It has nothing to do with anything. I'm just letting you know that I like the trade. And if it breaks back down below this 127, then we're gonna get out. So it's pretty easy for me right now. We'll add a piece now in case it doesn't go. Yeah, go. Here
so,
it comes in.
Big Bear went 42 to 60, and then that was the shortest offensive of all time. Because it came right back. Oh, I saw it catch a bid where it broke out from. I was on the bid at right where it was bouncing from before, and it immediately ran it. So Big Bear is doing another drop. It just can't seem to hold above 750. So I guess the accumulation is still on. Thought this one was going kind of. You don't always have to reload. Could have just left it at that, and it would have been fine. But I did try the reload. If it can hold VWAP, maybe reverse the trend, we can get back into it. And oh yeah, Uber. You know what the funny thing is? We left Uber to the last one, and it almost worked that it was going to be at $70 by the time we got to it. It was at $69.76. The market just did a bit of a right turn.
Yeah.
All right, it just broke the trend from VWAP.
Yeah, I'm a
Uber.
little concerned about this.
So yeah, that's a long uptrend. All right, I'm gonna.
It's still pushing here.
Yeah, I think I want to short Google. Sorry, Uber. I don't. Google on my mind.
Oh, we're almost.
Yeah.
Oh, we got.
I think I want to take this. If I can get this short and then be able to give it to the prior bar low, I guess on Uber, this makes sense. The other thing to keep in mind with Uber, look at the 200 period and look at $70 on Uber. It's not a nothing level. I think when it breaks this out, eventually it's going to be an amazing day. But it just turned at more or less that spot at that 70. So if I can get this, it's a day-long trend. It's a afternoon-long trend that's breaking here on Uber. Something must have happened here on the...
I'm not really seeing anything. NVIDIA did lose, so here, I can show you quickly.
The NASDAQ we're really falling.
Yeah, I was going to look at the Qs here quickly. So we bought some, again, our price was 15s. We got some out 23, some out 28, and then we lost it, and there it goes, drip down through. It's a fail. I mean, we told you we were going to take it. We took it. It didn't work out. That's just quickly in and out right there. So that's what that is there on NVIDIA. We wound up losing on it, but we didn't. It's still fine. We're red on it. That will put us red on NVIDIA, but it's not a day make or break. I would almost think if we can recover from this, maybe there's an upside play. But I don't know why NVIDIA did that, but the whole market did
Everything did.
So maybe it's not obviously specific to the individual name. So, all right, I was thinking about buying those TQs. There's a gap all the way down into that low. So I think for me on these TQs, what about $84 right now coming through there? So I think this is going to be something to look at. I'm going to have a starter position now in the futures and see if we can work with that. Starting it now. Watch out for 84 break. I'd like to get something else down here near $84. No idea what it is. We're going to try until we hear something on the futures falling down. Almost worth buying some NVIDIA again at this 127 break. But
Apple just held VWAP.
See,
I was looking over them what stock that was strong bounced right off of VWAP, and Apple just did. So we'll see. 232 was a key price all afternoon, and VWAP sits right there. So let's see if I can't pick it up. Nibbling in the teens. I did take Uber. Oh yeah, I'm in Peloton. That was a reverse. I was long it earlier. I did try to go long on Peloton when it reverted, but then it lost the opening range bottom, 840. It kind of broke that down, so I just shorted underneath that. I got originally I was short at 38 or something, and then I added to it at 34, and it's just very slowly, very slowly sinking on Peloton. Up 8.5%. Yeah, they reported it was actually a good day for Peloton at the open, but you can see what happened there. So the market's coming in. There is no news that we're aware of, so buying Apple in front of VWAP. If we lose, I don't want to give it the even dollar stop, but I think if we lose underneath like 90 or so, then we would give this one up. See if the market can get a little bit of a bounce here. Carlos Cabrera, Meta lost all of its gains today? No. Really? I need to, wow, Meta, man.
What now?
No, Meta just it did this yesterday. Or it went 700 to 718, all the way back to the bottom. Today, 700 to 718, all the way back to the bottom. Yeah, Meta's done this like 2 days in a row. Hey, if it holds the bid, maybe the breakout's going to be really good. That's wild, Meta.
All right, so
Thank you for pointing that out. That's crazy, Meta.
we are now 20 handles in the money. We did bought the futures, so there it is right there. We'll see if we can have some diamond hands on this one in case this story isn't that much. And we are back into NVIDIA again. I mean, I obviously wished that we did not get stopped out there, but here it comes right back into the upside again on NVIDIA. We talked about the fate, you know, the play that we like, that over-under. I almost said fade. We're going long. We don't want to fade anything. We'll get another piece out here at 24. There it is. And then put something else upside in and around in the 30s. Put another one right now at 23. There it is. So we're just starting to now, this is it, right? I mean, this is part of the problem about being a responsible, disciplined risk manager, at least trying to be one, is that when things break, you got to get out. Because if that is something about NVIDIA, if it is something about, and it still could be, right? I mean, if it's anything about the chips or then you're dead. Like if you take a max position, which we were doing, and again, I'll scream a lot louder or something if it's like going to be like an extremely max position or anything like that. But that was a good trade, and unfortunately we lost it there. And now we get a little bit back and push this back up to the upside. So now that we're 40 cents in the money, we actually make back what we lost and then some right now on that trade. So far so good there. Remember, this was 15 cents. Here we go back up into the 40. So it's close to a 1-to-1. And then the Qs are really working as well right now as that's back. Look at this, man, back into the 60s now. Boy, oh boy, like if you can get these futures right, there's some money to be made. That is for sure. There it is, backing back through the 60s. We're long now, these triple Qs at 40s. So it's 20, 25 handles in the money. What's up, Adara?
There's no news here that I can see as of right now, but it is worth noting we do have comments from Feds Waller scheduled to take place right now. However, I have heard nothing about these comments. Usually we'll hear if there's nothing said about the economy or the economic projections, but usually we'll get comments as well. So I have not heard anything on either front, which is kind of interesting here for Feds Waller, but maybe the comments haven't begun yet. Regardless, I will let you know, but just be aware Feds Waller is scheduled to speak as of right now. Back to you.
We are.
Well, either way, the bounce has happened.
Now.
So, thank you for the super chat, Vesna.
Oh,
Vecna?
boy.
Vecna. NVIDIA to 200 by July. That works for me.
That would be fantastic.
That would be absolutely peachy keen. I don't know. You say whatever you want to say
That'd
with
be
that
retirement.
one. That would be.
It would.
It's nice.
I know retirement.
I'll take it. So look,
nice, a nice trade.
200 by July. I mean, look,
200 by July. I think 200 by what's the price? You can get to 200 by February 27th.
200? I doubt that.
I mean, look, if it gets back to 150, let's just say it gets to 160 day of earnings. Can't go up 20%?
10 to 15.
I mean, we can check what NVIDIA's last couple earnings has looked like. But right now, man, if it goes 200 right now, then we are bang, bang right there with this kind of money because there goes NVIDIA now, 50 cents straight there to that upside goes NVIDIA there. Nice move, man. We'll see what winds up happening here, but there it is, a nice move up. Remember, NVIDIA just put on its right here, it just put up $14. On that DeepSeek move, we went down $30. So, you know, there's a possibility that this name could get going. I mean, I don't think it gets there by day after earnings, but it wouldn't surprise me if we were close.
Yeah, like July, I can see that by the...
Oh, July?
No, the super chat was July. I could see the February. I mean, that would be amazing.
I mean, these aren't even bold calls.
But no, July. Yeah, July.
Yeah, I think if it's not there by July, I think there's a problem.
Yeah, that's gonna have meant that I think you probably saw a slow in a decent, maybe a double-digit decline in growth of revenues or something like that. That could spook it, maybe. But anyways, we're just speculating. They don't even report tonight. We get three big weeks in earnings, right? We get last week, this week, and we get NVIDIA week, where it's really just about NVIDIA, and then sometimes people care about who else reports late. Marvell's usually pretty good late, but yeah, that's about it. You know what? I'm gonna All right, Peloton actually, believe it or not, Peloton caught a bit off of that. So it was down at 820. It's now coming back. It's at 830. My last entry was at 834, so let's respect the fact that the market is bouncing. If I zoom in, you can see the scaling better. Here, that's better. So it's coming right back into our last entry zone. So if it breaks 835, I'm just going to get out and adjust my stop order, which we do manually in here. So adjusting the stop. I mean, the bleed might be over on this. Oh, just for a higher time frame look on Peloton, it did break a pretty decent downward trend here. So Peloton broke this, not to be doom and gloom, but I was looking long originally on the stock today. But it has broken a nice trend line. So I might be looking for a continuation long on Peloton. This was just, it lost a key support level from the morning. I was long in front of it before it did. I just reversed it. But I think I'd be back to going long as it can hold. If it's above $8, above this trend, then I still like it.
I was going to say something, and then, you talked about Peloton. Was it another earnings play? I lost my train of thought. Okay. Roblox. Let's have a quick look at Roblox. Yeah, I just want to see where this one battled back to. So we came in today. It's on our watch list, down 30%. Okay, so this was one of those examples where we showed you what could happen when something goes wrong and you get that move into the 50-period moving average. Forget about it down to $50. I mean, if you got that, Merry Christmas. But at the end of the day, this little pushback into 61, that's the 50-period moving average, and you can see what it did. It pushed back. It sort of hit there, right there, kind of off open is when we were there at 61, 62. And then we get that fade play where we said, remember that we were only looking long on Roblox because we were above VWAP. So I just want to show this, like, to me, Sharif went over his, and that's what it was. It was also about the futures, how we were getting lighter on the futures position. It's still 10 handles in the money. You can look at that, and I'm going to do it in a second. But to me, I think as long as you are in a name like a Palantir that's bumping, like that's moving more than we thought. So Roblox was that way. If you're still above VWAP, I think you always are using that as support or resistance. So that was just an example there on Roblox that got crushed yesterday, but they're buying it right back up as if it wasn't really even that big of a deal. Its implied move, remember, was 14%. So they just missed, and it's down 14%. So the options game nailed that right. So you get some profit taking, then a rinse, and now it got as high as $68, man. This mine must have only been down like 10% at one point. So so far so good there. NVIDIA, everything's falling back in a little bit. And again, we have Fed speak. So let's go see what Adair is up to.
I was going to let you guys know this Fed speak, which as mentioned, was maybe potentially something to watch out for with regards to that market drop. It's not really about anything that I could tell as of yet that would move the market. It just seems like Fed's Waller potentially started a little late because we just started getting comments coming in here within the last minute. Fed's Waller is saying that apparently they need regulation for stablecoins, quote, the faster the better, and then just saying that stablecoin is like a synthetic dollar, and if it makes payments faster, they're for it. So Fed's Waller is pro stablecoins, and that's really all we've learned thus far from this Fed speech, guys. Back to you.
That'd be Waller.
That's good for crypto, for sure. All right, TQQ's still going to the upside right now. So we just bought the futures down there on that dip, starting to work out. We got more out. I'm out of half now of this futures play. I'm just trying to hold this until that bottom of 84. It's 84.18. We'll take something at that very bottom and then just try to give it to basically this pre-market low of $84. So we are getting ready to have our guests come through here in just a couple seconds, so I wanted to just talk about some of those plays real quick. NVIDIA does give us some more outs here, as it's just dancing, man. Like, it had that huge move up. I feel like it's broken a little bit now. You're underneath the 50, underneath the 200-period moving average, and that's VWAP. So it lost VWAP, we got out, it retook it, we got back in, trying to play for that move. Man, what the hell, or what the, Waller, oops, that's the wrong one. Waller right now going off on stable coins, but it's good. He's not saying anything bad. Let me just refresh this just to see if there is a move happening. We can actually call up the actual charts, but just in the last hour, I mean, it's pretty flat. There's not much. Ripple's been down, got hit. Ripple had a huge move up to 340-ish, maybe even more than that. Now down 60, I shouldn't say 60%, down 26% in the last 7 days, but you knock off a third out of that high of 340 down to 230 right now. Solana was been holding okay in that 215 or 216 area. Why don't I see Solana here? There it is right there. 189? Okay, some of these names have dipped down a little much here. So we'll have to look at some of these altcoins as we go, because I thought Solana was still over 200. I guess not, Neil.
Apparently not. But you know what? Introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ, Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport is a US-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP, discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. Shout out to them. I wanted to get to, there was a message in the chat, and I had it queued up, but I might have missed it. And there was a question because we reference VWAP a lot. Do you guys have a video on VWAP? So you guys are gonna see an old picture when I didn't have gray hair. But if you check out our More Trader TV live page, there is probably like the most successful video we did, evergreen or like a learning video. What is VWAP and how to use it in day trading? You know, so we shot this 4 years ago, and it's still valid, everything we mentioned there. And on top of that, look out in the future. We're actually doing some more educational videos. One's coming in the pipeline on RSI in a little bit, so keep a lookout for that as we're going back to those roots. So always check that out. You can always go to our other page.
You may want to know something more about VWAP right there, so props it up right there. It's a little bit of a hot dog cannon now. We'll just do props. NVIDIA, okay, we're reloaded. We reloaded it right there at VWAP. Nicely traded to the upside right now. So we'll just keep getting out to make sure that we do not wind up losing on this trade. But you never know. Always worth getting something out near the highs and then trying to hold out, because look at this market. As we had mentioned, I don't think this market is really necessarily the best for, I mean, I'm scalping this right now, but like, I'm done now. I try to get out like 20, 30% for a little bit, and then willing to say, hey, we'll lose on this total trade if it drops below this 126.60, meaning I also want to average in down into here. So if we can get some more longs into this level, then I think it's worth trying to play. And what I'm saying in this market is like, if you had the ideas of short up here, look at this payday. You basically get like the whole move all the way back to like 10 o'clock, like 10:30, 11 o'clock, like in one little move, because you're right. So keep something and try to keep something good. Like here it goes, on board for when you're right and you have that bigger move back there to the upside. Like there's one thing about scalping, and I'm here to scalp. I mean, you could see that, but then like I wind up making a lot more. Like look at this hold. These longs are 125.75. These outs are 128. So like my stop down here is like 30, 40 cents. This is $3. So it's like just the fact that you hold a little bit makes a big difference, and it can be such, like right now, such an increased payday just by doing that. So instead of like scalping out, try to get a little more greedy in this market environment. I feel like that's the right thing to do. You never know where it's gonna hit. Now there's gonna be different trains of thought. In some you want to get in and out and do scalp. But for me right now, look at the payday right here off of VWAP. So it's a good trade, and it continues to go higher. I like this trade there on NVIDIA.
I love VWAP. Great trade over there. And as mentioned, we are ready for our guest. Andy Linloff is from Trade Ideas. Andy, welcome. Good to have you on here. It's an awesome market that we're in. Traders, it's a trader's market for sure. So excited to have you on.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, always love to be on air.
Andy, let us know what that shirt says. What do we got underneath there? Is that some sort of a...
This says trade well and give back.
I like that. We like that.
I love that.
Traders for a Cause, if you're familiar with them, right? They're a great organization. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for bringing that up, and thanks for wearing that here today. So I don't know if you just heard what I was saying there a little bit, but this market's pretty volatile, and you can get some pretty big moves. We've seen top to bottom a huge move in Roblox today. We've seen a huge move in Peloton, just as some earnings names. And the names that aren't even reporting today. ARM had a move. NVIDIA today had another move. I don't know what you're looking at. Meta since like 12, 13 days in a row here of straight upside power. So what do you make of what we're seeing right now, Andy?
Absolutely, it is. It's kind of a news-driven market, and you got to be on top of your game, because I've noticed like a lot of my setups are not working just
Right.
because of the volatility in the market. But it could provide some great alpha for day trading. That's for sure.
What you just heard us mentioning a little bit about volume weighted average price, and that's been something that we've really sort of championed here on the show. I really like it, especially doing intraday trades. You may not believe this or not, but I have over 100 trades today, so we're getting in and out. We're getting in and out a lot, so we have to use something. What is a setup that you prefer? And on that note, what is your preferred style of trading? More swing trader? Are you an options trader? Let's introduce ourselves maybe to our audience. Over 5,000 watching right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. For 15, 16 years, I was a hardcore day trader. I was in the game now. About 10 years ago, started getting older. I moved over into swing trading, and I love looking for setups, and that's my niche. We have a channel here called the Trader's Eye, where I'll put my watch list in there, and all of our subscribers can come and check out my watch list. They can watch it in a top list or a race or any way they want to do it. But that watch list always starts with a good setup. And I've seen so many traders over the years. They come into the market each day and they're not prepared. They
Right.
don't do their homework. They just kind of want to fly by the seat of their pants. And really, whether you're a day trader or a swing trader, you really need to spend about an hour or so every day, looking at some charts, looking for some setups. And I have been able to create these really good setups, looking for wedges, bull flags, trend breaks, by using position and range filters and moving averages. And so that's my preparation each day. I think you have to come in, and because these setups can have incredible moves. Let's face it, whether you're a day trader or a swing trader, the most important part of the trade is the entry. And if you have a good entry, that can be very forgiving, and not only that, it can set yourself up for a very favorable risk reward relationship. And this is what I was talking about. I like to use position and range. I focus on the 5, 10, and the 20-day range. I focus on the 10, 20, and 50-day, moving average. And I like to tell people, if you can imagine a setup in your head with trade ideas, you can pretty much build that into a scan to set these beautiful setups up to where you can just set your price alerts. And then what I'll do is, here's a great example of one of the scans I built. I've used a position in a 10-day range, a position in 3-month, 5-day, and year range. And this will create a really incredible, looking setup for you. And then what this is my homework each night. I have like 4 go-to scans where I will, and they're all pretty similar, but there's some tweaks and some moving averages and some position and range. But they will give me a great little watch list, and that's what I'll do. I'll create a watch list every night or in the morning, and then I will be focusing on this pretty much throughout the day. And I'll set triggers. Sometimes I'll actually set buy stops in for me, just to buy the stock if it goes through a certain level. But
Okay.
Yeah,
a couple, just to show you an example of one. This is one that hasn't triggered yet, but this is AMBA, and this was on my list today. Now this one, if it gets above this 80 pivot here, it's going to probably be explosive. Okay. So this is the kind of stuff I look for. I don't want to be the one buying the wick up here at the top. I'm looking for a setup with a pivot level that can be explosive once it goes through those levels.
Yeah, and I think it's so important. You mentioned something which I really like your entry can be very, very forgiving, because the direction is only a part of it. Like, do I like this stock to the long side? I love the fact that you like things about certain moving averages. Make sure you're with the trend. You're buying strong stocks. But that entry point is so key, because you can buy a top and it doesn't matter that the stock is going to be up on the day. But I have to ask you something. Obviously you're going to be a technical trader. You're drawing a lot. You're drawing a lot from your data analysis. Do you all have completely binary rules? And meaning, if you have trigger, enter, this is my stop, and do you just stick to that? Is there ever a situation where you might find, hey, something just happened on this in the middle of the day? Are you ever reacting to news on your swing trades, or maybe an adverse volume spike, something happens in the sector? Is there any discretion, or are you just going to be a pure technical trader? Just because I know we've seen both sides of this. I'm just curious myself.
No, that's a very, very good question. Yes, I will. You know,
question.
let's take for this AMBA, for example. If I jumped in this above 80, I may have, a stop, below, say, call it 73, if it breaks that 50-period moving average. But if the backdrop of the market changes and all of a sudden I see, semiconductors rolling over, getting hit, or the market getting hit, yes, I will. I can change my mind on a dime, and just, hey, I'm not liking the current environment. I think it's important for a trader. Uh, you cannot just have everything can't be cut and dry, and that's what I tell when I'm mentoring people is like always keep the backdrop of the market, in the back of your mind because you may be able to cut something and save you a lot of money and a lot of pain too. So yes, I will I will change my mind a couple of times and not be hard set on my stops for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that you can hear the day trader in there because I'll tell you right now, sometimes you can't even explain. You're like, hey, this long sets up. There's sellers in here. This doesn't look good, and you never know. You'll look back and it's like that was a perfect out or something along those lines. Just out of curiosity for you now, with your swing trading, say that AMBA, let's say it breaks that 80. Obviously, I can look at a chart. I can find some of those highs, but getting in, having a break, having an idea where you want to start going into the trend is one part of it. How do you work your outs? Do you have technicals for how you take profit? Is there a time frame that you care about? What do you do if your trade runs into earnings? Because for swing trading, I find that's a lot of times that second part of the equation that gets tricky for people. Okay, I'm in. Where am I taking profit? What are my rules for how long I'm going to hold this? You don't want to turn it into a forever investment necessarily.
Absolutely, and that's a great point. And getting back to the entry being so important. I mean, most of the best traders I know we all have the same problem. We take profits too quick. But what that tells me, if you're a profitable trader and you're taking profits too quick, more than likely you got an incredible entry. And that's why I pound home, the importance, of doing your homework and getting those entries early. Sometimes I'll even anticipate. But yes, I will on occasions. What I like to do is grab size. If I have a really good setup, I grab size, looking to scalp out 50% of it, maybe in the 2 days or something like that. And then I have some breathing room, and I try to let that, as long as the market's working, as long as the trade's working, I try to let that other 50% run. But uh, yeah, it's and getting back to your point, being a day trader for so many years, yes, it does affect your swing trading because you see the sudden little moves in the market, yeah, and sometimes you'll exit out of a trade that you probably shouldn't, and that's probably one of my drawbacks.
Well, I mean that's everybody, but it's like your point. I say something on the show, and no one ever went broke taking profit. And if you take some out and pay yourself, your ability to hold, it's just easier to do it when you have money in your
Absolutely.
pocket. I don't care. That's just human nature. I know your time is valuable, but I noticed you had something about Boeing, which is
Oh yeah,
yeah.
a lot of the big caps I like to play, the Teslas, the Microsofts, but well, a lot of them are under pressure. They're below their moving averages, and I pulled up. Boeing was on my list today. You can see it there on this pullback scan, and I'm just like, well, you know what? I know just a couple of months ago it was the laugh of Wall Street. They couldn't do anything right, but now this is actually trying to maybe turn the corner. And yes, I had a trigger in this one at 182. 56. Just full disclosure, I'm not in it yet, just because I'm not liking what I'm feeling in the market right now as far as these breakouts go. But the last I look, it's trading, probably right around here, maybe 183, 184. But it's one that, yeah, you got to keep an eye on. It looks like it may be turning the corner.
Well, I had to when I saw it, and I'm like, I recently bought Boeing myself, so it's like, oh, okay. We were talking about this 180, the trouble it's been having with the 180 to 182, and now finally clearing it out. So as you said, you got to look for some of these stocks when there's relative strength or on a key prices. That's what you want to be able to trade. Yeah,
Exactly.
Appreciate your insights. Before we get you out of here, any last thoughts? You were saying that you don't necessarily love what's going on in the market. I know we just had an interesting drop. Everything was cruising, and we pulled back a little bit. So what are your thoughts maybe going into?
My thoughts, I mean, even though we're not far from all-time highs, it's really tricky right now. I feel like it's a news-driven market, and it's not a market I want to be loaded up on the long side. I'm pretty thin right now, actually, just because I feel like this market could, really get hammered on some bad news. So I don't think it's a time to be aggressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, and appreciate the insight because we saw what happened. We seen it on earnings. We saw it with AMD. We've seen it with Alphabet. We're going to have Amazon tonight. We never know what could happen. Andy Lindoff, Law from Trade Ideas. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
There it is. Another one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you. Some great ideas and always great to hear from somebody new.
Go Boeing.
Yeah, go Boeing, man. Boeing is definitely
It's
going.
been bad for a while, man. Boeing needs to have its moment.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a moment here with NVIDIA as it just keeps on going, man. So we, just as I said, try to save something for this. And we did that. Like, we started getting more out at the 50. Now we're getting more out at the 200. So, yeah, really, really good retracement play there. It's too bad, again. That's twice, actually, today on NVIDIA, where I had a lot of shares only to have the level break and then hold and then rip. So that's the same thing that happened right here. Breaks, then rips back up to the upside. So it's interesting that we had Andy on there because talking about, again, entry and how key that is. And, trusting VWAP is fine. That break, it's nice that we were able to take it right back upside and celebrate that. But at the end of the day, that kind of sucks. So all in all, we'll still make money on these two trades combined, but could have been a lot more, obviously, if we don't get that break. But it broke, so that is trader's delight. All right, Palantir, good hold there as well. Like, that could have been something else. We didn't get to VWAP there, and just like I showed you in NVIDIA, we could have easily bought this. This was the exact same area that we were in again. We did that on NVIDIA and lost. So we didn't do it on Palantir, and it would have worked. But at the end of the day, nice move back up into the 200 period. It's a 70-cent winner on right now. So we're sitting on more than $1.25 in total wins with all of our three positions. So this is back to the 200, regardless of where I'm in or how many shares or anything. I feel like you should follow this rule right there. So we're going to get out again right now at 107, like right here, a piece, and then see if we can get that day high again in and around 108.30. So that would be my next sort of idea here for PLTR. We've talked a little bit about the futures. Hold on a second. I just want to get something out on 78. There it is. So we get that as it goes right through us. And then the futures trade, I only have 10% left. It did this. So it came in, we got out there, then it went up, we got out, and then it came back. So all of these outs roughly representing between 5 to 10%. Now we have that 5% left, and it is falling back in. I do want to test it one more time off of that bottom. So I do have a bid sitting right here at 84.15, which is that local bottom. We'll see if we get touched out there. And then if we get long, again, this could be one of those NVIDIA moments, there's 84. So it's actually right here, a break of this level there that we had yesterday, right at the close. If we break 84, then I'm going to get out. So that's sort of that trade, and it could blow up, but it could not. So we'll wait to see what ends up happening there. Those are my three positions, getting lighter on them.
Yeah, and because we can't say VWAP enough, Apple, right when we sort of went to the interview there, the conversation, Apple bounced off VWAP, kind of trended up for a few minutes, broke the trend. It's right back to VWAP. Now what you got to keep in mind is the market was holding some of those highs when Apple had already pulled back into VWAP. So pretty much everything else I was looking at, whether it was NVIDIA, whether it was ES, whether it was the NASDAQ, they were all holding the bounce much better than Apple did when Apple pulled into VWAP. And I did scalp back into like this range in Peloton. It's 835 to 820. So it's done it a couple times. It just pulled back when the market bounced. Shorted it again. It looks like if we take out that top, I'll just jump out of the trade. At some point, it'll probably break the range. But you're back at VWAP here on Apple. Like to see it. I mean, like that was a pretty distinct wick that you had down for an initial bounce. It's much more controlled going into VWAP here. So I'd like to see it revert this little bit of a trend more distinctly before just jumping in. A little bit of relative weakness here in Apple. And the way things broke down, I don't want to just jump into it without a good setup. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Prop Firm Match. Are you a skilled trader who's lacking capital? Prop firms offer the opportunity to trade with simulated funds, allowing you to showcase your skills, access account sizes ranging from 5K to 500K. You can start with as little as $20, but with over 500 prop firms out there, how do you find out which ones are the best? That's where Prop Firm Match comes in. Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firms with proven track records and consistent long-term payment histories. Access over 4,500 verified reviews, explore payout histories, and discover the best current deals, all in one place. So scan that QR code or visit propfirmmatch.com today to find the perfect prop firm for you.
Era and, ooh, really? I just looked up and someone said the Raptors got James Wiseman. The guy still plays basketball. He was a bust. I took him in a fantasy league, and obviously that didn't work out for me. But ideal travel guide. Any thoughts on Amazon earnings today? Officially unburdened. Just tell me Amazon will fly. Lie if you have to. Amazon will fly? You know what? There's a really favorite saying of mine, which I've said many times on this show, and that is, if you care about somebody, then tell them what you think, and if you care about yourself, then tell them what they want to hear. So no, I'm not going to tell you I necessarily think Amazon is going to fly. What we saw with Alphabet was nobody cared about any of the amazing numbers. They only ended up caring. The big deal was that cloud. And when the cloud growth, which is their best growing sector, when that was a miss, that was a problem for Alphabet. And I think the same is going to hold true for Amazon. Probably none of the other numbers are going to matter except for AWS. And if they don't like AWS, I think it'll be a dip buying opportunity. Like, that's what I'd be more prepared for there with Amazon. So look, it comes down to that one number. I'm not an insider knowing which way that's going to go. I didn't expect Alphabet to miss on that cloud number, and they did. So you have to take that as it comes. But everybody, good luck if you happen to be buying it going into it. I have not bought Amazon recently, so I can't tell you that I'm a buyer. I am long. I do have Amazon, but I haven't bought it recently, so I can't tell you that I'm a buyer. Apple still does not want to hold view up. Very different, right? Like popping down, instant rejection. Like when this was a wick bouncing off view up. You just see it in the tape. This is consolidating down here and slowing down in here off view up. No curl just yet. So I don't want to jump into this when you're showing a little bit of a sign of weakness. However, Bora Hout just mentioned Tesla. Tesla is trying to do its thing. We've seen it try to go late in the day before. We short Tesla earlier, but now it's above that VWAP, the 368 level. But it's still, see that 375? Just overall bearish. When you flat bottom break, and look at this level here on Tesla, like all kinds of support, but lower highs into a flat bottom break on Tesla. You've got to get back above this 375. It's hard to get overly bullish on this unless it can hold that hold above the 375 for me. If anything, I'd be leaning, maybe looking for some kind of a short entry here on Tesla. The futures are at a decision point, and Tesla's been weak all day, down 2.5 points, man. It hasn't really been all that great for Tesla, no question. Jimmy Donnelly, Apple has a fair value gap. However, on the daily, you can see the candles are being held down. So unless volume spikes, I'll play the fair value gap spikes. Well played. For sure. Palantir again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going up. I mean, what was that about gaps? I mean, that was pretty interesting. I wanted to sort of, what does Amazon do? Were you just talking about Amazon there? Because
Amazon before, but then that was just Apple.
Yeah, because
is Palantir at 108
again? Yeah,
okay.
We're still long at 107 flat, but NVIDIA is the one that's still going high. I mean, they're all going now. The TQs is the one, the futures are the one that's kind of just holding out, but the plays are going. Palantir is going right there. We got some out at the 200. I'm sitting at days high. Just don't want to make a mistake of getting out again a little bit too early, which we've been doing. We don't have many shares left. It's just nice to top it off at the end of the day, right? There goes NVIDIA. I don't have any offers on this one until up here as well. That's that 200 period. We said we're always going to do that, so we'll do it again. It just came back in. We'll see if we can get it one more time. We might be able to do that right now on NVIDIA, 127.80s. So let's put an offer there, see if we can get it. We'll go to 77. Paul Coffey, Raymond Bork, some different names there we can take a look at. What sport is that? Says OB, that is hockey. 128 and change. Okay, so 127.95, another order there. Okay, what do you guys want to look at? Let's go. Let's do some stock blitz. I don't have the thing here. If there's anything in the chat that anybody wants to talk about, this is now your time because my orders are all set up. We have the TQs. I want to be long into the close. I think Amazon Obviously, we can look at what's going to report tonight. Amazon, good report. What about Expedia? I mean, we did hear everything was okay at the theme parks for Disney. We can check out Airbnb. We've seen Uber make a move back. Uber didn't say anything wrong with bookings or anything like that. So as we see Expedia right there, nice move down on the daily chart. Where's the 200 period moving average, Expedia? There it is. Okay, so 145. Past move. 3.5%, expected 10% for Expedia. Little too beat up. This one has a chance to go. I don't mind that. Play with Expedia. Oh, what's on a shelf tonight? You're right. It is e.l.f. on a shelf. So cosmetic name here. This is a big name because of tariffs. From my understanding, this is a cosmetic company. My wife likes it. She liked the quality of the products. But again, this has gotten beat up here again. Chinese. Apparently they're manufactured there in China. So as we talk more about tariffs, that's going to be a problem for e.l.f. Cosmetics as there it comes just. This might be a great level. Ramin Ayal. I need to find out if e.l.f. is still a thing because at some point you get. I never got into this and I got in trouble because it was. I think I missed this move because when it came back into the 200 period moving average, I remember we talked about it on the show and my wife was watching. Is like, we love e.l.f. and then it just did that. I don't know if I would have sold or not, but anyways, right back into these levels, guys. This is like April, May of 23 right here. So you're coming into some levels now for e.l.f. And remember, it was a relatively new name. So this move from 20, like e.l.f. went from $20, I mean, this is, if this chart is right, $20 in May of 22 to $220 in March of 24. So 2.5 years, it 10x'd. It Palantired itself. So we'll have to wait to see what happens there with e.l.f. Like, this is like getting Palantir again at $10. Well, no, sorry, it's only down a third. This is like getting Palantir again at $30. All right, we just got filled on NVIDIA, so. Ooh, wow, that's a little violent, that one there. Yeah, that's a loud one there. I feel that hurt. All right, so there we go, right back in. We get the 200 period moving average, so it's all good, baby. And it's not all a dream because this is actually happening. Palantir is up 7% and back to the day's high. We're at almost the highest spot we've been at all day here as we and it's funny because I just went on that little bit of a rant there about why we should be holding on to positions in this kind of a market. And since we've done that, Palantir has gone up about $1, and NVIDIA, again, on this play, goes top, bottom, basically to top. 200 period for me is going to be a top. Now that I talk like this, I'm going to get out another piece. Now, there we go. We'll get out of another risk unit there. So if we have 3 risk units left, we just got out of 1. So we got out of a third of our position on what we have left there on NVIDIA. Now let's see if we can get back to day's high and maybe use the 50 period as our out, which is 127.50. So we started the day, we told you we were about $2 in the money. Now we're about 3 and change as everything's working long side. But look at the futures, Neil.
They're bouncing.
I don't know if Apple's working for you, but
well, I only just got back in.
I thought the futures would be up more than this.
So we took Apple bouncing off VWAP the first time. It went 232 to 232.5. It just came right back into VWAP, so I took it again. I've got 232.12s, and we'll see if it does a half. But I wanted to thank you, BSE JIT. Just want to take some time to thank the whole crew, Sean, Neil, Adara, and everybody else. The Bash Brothers, obviously, Sharif and Joe, Brendan, you guys are great. Thank you so much for joining our community. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And if you're enjoying the show, share it with your trading community, your friends, because we all learn together. And that's how we all get better in our journey. And a couple of more in here. We got a super chat from Siesta Mike 44. Appreciate the super chat. Just a super chat, no message. We appreciate you for sure. And then I saw Haroon mention, what about DJT? I'll get there in a second. It wasn't moving much anymore. So very simple. If we break the prior low, I'm going to be out of Apple. We got back in on the trend. And if we break that prior low just underneath VWAP, I'm going to jump out. Now, DJT is back to the highs. Now, it's been... All right, so there was the news of there were a bunch of ETFs. They had a filing for there was a Bitcoin ETF. There was like 4 or 5. You can check the news on it. But it was a parabolic move that bounced off of 32 a couple times. It's bounced 32 again. There's now a triple top on DJT. Volume, not what it was earlier, but still looking strong. Triple top at 32.60 is the current high. And just to look at the daily chart, you're like, why does it keep stalling here? Well, there is the 200 period moving average on DJT. and pretty clear resistance on this daily chart. So there is a potential breakout here for DJT up that 7%, but it's been struggling at this area. Like we talk about like taking profit if you're long at this 32, which has been a good place to go long. Probably could be in it a third time. Not much of an excuse for not. I kind of gave up on this after it failed at the 32.5. Figured it was headed back into VWAP, but DJT is not dead and 32 is still a good buy. Today, anyways. That's not any endorsement of DJT as a long-term investment, obviously.
Long-term investment. That was a good one. Yeah, no endorsement on that. All right, so we're getting some more out here at 128. We said that we would go into a little bit of a, 110 is incoming on Palantir, man. I mean, Neil had said that on earnings day, and
I thought it was
fell.
going there yesterday.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, look, it's not, this is an incredible move on Palantir, like 110. I could have never, honestly, had dreamt that. But we were talking also about Spotify. I was in on Spotify's direct list. That was 150. Both of these, I only remember it because these are the two direct listings that I've participated in ever.
There haven't been many.
I know, and I don't know why. I mean, Palantir.
I can't think of another one. I can't think of any.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat if there is another one there.
They're rare, but
there must be one more missing. I think there must be a major one. Okay, so let's just have a quick look there. I wanted to go over some stocks if there was anything. Aurora Cannabis, we had them yesterday. That was earnings, I believe. Wow, there goes. Palantir just broke 109.
Oh, I thought you were going to the.
I did go to ACB. Yeah, ACB right here, 20%. So up 20%. Look at this, man. Wow. You know, that's a.
Get it, ACB.
Yeah, like right there. Like that was a good one there. We rolled up this is a sticky note. That's what this is. But there it goes, man. ACB, nice move up 21%. Keeps going, 7 and change, 750. Wow, nice move. But again, this name has been reverse split and absolutely destroyed over and over and over again. This is the gap up from yesterday. Continuation play. No, sorry, this is a daily chart. That's reverse split. So if you look at a realistic chart here on eSignal that will show us the reverse splits, we did this yesterday and on how much this stock sucks. It has highs of $1,500 going back 3 years. But there it is. There's the move up. See that we don't have any like sort of crazy gaps. That very bottom there was $2.85. That was made back in March. Well, that's the low. We had a 1-for-10 split just before that. Then it makes the low. Then it pops. Great. So it's been up here before. I would say this is the sell zone between 8 to 9, 950. And then you get out of there and run away and buy something good with your money because I don't know about this name. There's so many growers out there now, and there's just so much in the space that I don't know who's going to win, and I don't know if there needs to be one. It's just a community. Lots of different things happening again between edibles and like now like you're watching a movie now, everyone's talking about gummies, this and that, and like there's just so many people producing all of this. If it was like something where someone had the rights to produce it, but that's not what it is. Anybody can do anything. Like look at Tilray right now as well.
Or don't.
We had a guy or don't. Yeah, we had a guy on. I think it might have been 4 or 5 years ago, and he was from Colombia, and he was talking about growing weed there in Colombia, and he goes like it's like 40 cents an ounce or a gram or whatever, $4 and whatever the price was, and it was like a tenth of what the growers around here were paying, and it's because of the weather and then the tax situation and all of that kind of stuff and cost of goods, the labor, everything was just so cheap. So I don't know, Tilray not participating the same way ACB is. So clearly it's just a one stock pony. And then MSOS, if you want to wrap it all up, you can grab this ETF, which you'll see has had a nice move up, but still just back to where it was a couple weeks ago. So I don't think Trump's going to push forward too much on all of that, but we're now almost $4 in the money now, as NVIDIA now $1.15. It just took 128. My next offer is right here at 128.40s, I thought. 128.20, sorry. Right now, we have another NVIDIA fill coming, so hopefully that's good. And Palantir, Neil, is going to take 110, and I guess we just go long when it breaks 110.
Yeah, I mean...
Thank you so much, Vizbot, and everybody who's loving this NVIDIA trade. You're welcome, man. We took it with you guys, and I mean, we even said let's hold on for something more, and so that it is something more now. So, good trade there. I'm at the high spot I've been at all day right now.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I can't complain as well. Obviously, Peloton could do something, but I wanted to get to Jedi. We got more super chats. We appreciate you, everybody, and I think we always say just hit the like, hit the subscribe. We don't necessarily ask for super chats or anything like that. We're just having fun. We're just talking trading, and we appreciate your questions. What's up with Fortinet? They report today. I haven't looked. Look, I know they're making fresh highs. They report at 405. It's a 10% expected move on Fortinet. I looked that up, and we'll get to this ill tech surgeon as well. Any advice for new investors how they should go about their investment journey? Great question. Great question there. Let's start with Fortinet. You can't lose in cybersecurity lately. They just win, and when you buy the dips, you've been rewarded by it. Fortinet's no different. I could pull up the chart of PanW. I could pull up the chart of CrowdStrike. You'd see the same thing, right? So they've just been winners, and they're all relatively expensive on a PE basis. So yeah, they're like grit your teeth on the PE, and buying dips at the 50, buying dips on every pullback is one. I like PanW the best. I probably still have some CrowdStrike, even though I sold some to buy more PanW. But those are my picks. Those are the two that I happen to be in. But Fortinet, nothing wrong with it. And advice for new investors.
Look at this. Holy.
I mean, the most important thing is getting money into the market. That's it. Second guessing, when you like a company, second guessing where and when you should buy when your long term is forever. Buy the index, continue to buy the index, buy good stocks, and just try to hold on to them. And I think you're really not going to go wrong in that regard. You know, I think most times people complicate things. So I believe in DCAing where I can, for sure. All right, Palantir, I guess you want this 110 after all. Oh, we got to take this break.
Another one.
Yeah, I mean, look at the TQQs. 70 handles now in the money. Like, we just went right over to the NASDAQ on that drop. We bought NVIDIA. There's the futures trade. Like, this trade alone right here is my day. Like, I only need this trade. And we have Palantir on board, which is going to be a good stock for us. We have NVIDIA on board right now, which is a fantastic. Like, we just get that day's high. Like, really, what exactly is happening? I'm going to punch long 110. So I'll put an offer here. We're $3 in the money. It's going. It's not stopping. It's Palantir. My hat's over there. It's been a great name to trade, and really just looking at this with rose-colored glasses, I thought we made a mistake there. But no, man, we didn't buy the top at all. We actually got some great dip buys. We bought the top once, dip bought it again, could have there, was a little bit stubborn, but wow. All right, so where do we get out if we're wrong? I mean, I don't know. We have like 1 or 2% left on this trade. It's nothing at all. We've traded thousands of shares on NVIDIA today. And we only have a piece left as well, but that just hit that high and trying to get higher right now, 128.45. Whenever I say we, I'm about to say we, and you'll be like, well, we didn't even trade the same stocks. Yeah, I just mean me, generally speaking. And I think the same thing for Neil.
It's a figure of
It's just,
speech.
yeah, it's like, because I'm talking about the show here. Like, when I'll say we traded Big Bear AI in the middle of the day, it's Sharif
what is
and Joe,
Big Bear
right?
doing?
Yeah, so...
Oh, wow, that really...
I might just get out of I'm going to get out of another piece of NVIDIA here at 20, and then that's that. It does look like it may be doing something up here. Let me see what Amazon did take that dip down. I'm look at this, not participating at all. So there it goes to Andy. That's who we had, right? To the point of stock picking as well. Like, you want to make sure that you're picking the right names at the right time of day. And right now, heading into earnings, Amazon just goes Sleepy Joe, and TQQs goes bang, Palantir goes boom, and NVIDIA goes whap. And so nice moves there to, I don't know, WAP should be a downside move. But, you know, we're slowly getting out of everything.
VWAP.
All right, yeah. I'm going to get the setup going here for Palantir. I mean, I'm just going to put it in right now. 10:01, if we break through, I'm going to take the 10:01, and I'm going to take it with, I'll just do that standard 2 or 3 unit break. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put in a heck of a lot of risk, because if it falls back in, I don't really have an out, and I could lose everything if we wait back in here for one. Like, you punch this with a max position and it's wrong. I can show you many
And the
examples.
imbalance is good.
Yeah, the imbalance is a little ways away. I mean, I think Palantir hopefully takes it before then. But, you know, we've taken out highs. I don't really know an example. Like today for Big Bear, for example, right? Like, there's me taking out the high, and look what winds up happening there. And so there's the high. We like it from yesterday. On the sticky note, it takes it out in the pre-market, and then it falls back into the 50 period and into VWAP, and then rips. So it's like, if that is your maximum amount of shares there, now I did not reload, but if that's your maximum amount of shares, then you don't have that opportunity and you could suffer this kind of a fate. So there's finally a reload at the 200 and probably was VWAP at that time, which gave us a little bit of juice back in. So that's my logic on Palantir. It could be wrong, but I'm going to hit it with a little bit of shares anyways as we look to break that. And then just zooming in, probably just try to look for a shelf. So now that's 109.20. Like, I still don't want to lose 80 cents. Maybe just not even prior bar. That's 109.55. Yeah, probably 50 cents. Like, I think that's reasonable, but wow, 9% now for Palantir.
It's destroying shorts.
That's why I want to go long at 1 cent.
Destroying shorts. What's interesting? It's not a huge short float name, but I bet you're going to start to see a few. I don't know. I don't want to name. You're probably going to start to see a few usual short sellers start talking about that one again now that it broke the 100 level. I feel like it's about that time for Palantir. DJT's trying to break the top as well, although you know what, on not as much volume. And here's the thing. Here's Palantir. Let's put these side by side. Like, there's the volume on Palantir, biggest volume, paling anything you've seen in the entire afternoon, obviously. And DJT, slight volume spike, but not as much going into that high. Doesn't mean DJT isn't going to go if it breaks 32.60, but maybe you just don't like it as much. I don't like it as much as Palantir. I think it's a key level as well, but it's just not necessarily the same kind of volume as and then Sean just mentioned, there's that little pullback on Palantir. That's actually not a bad thing. I think when you have 8 green candles in a row. Sorry, let's pull that back. 8 green candles in a row on a 3-minute. A little pullback and consolidation before a breakout ultimately, I think, is better than if it just shoots up parabolically into your level that you're taking a break on. I think that's a much better play. But I do like DJT. I'm still going to take the breakout.
All right, there it is. So we did reload Palantir down there. We actually get a 33 bid, and we scalped some more out on that exact trade. This is what we do. That's a 52. That's 20 cents quick as you like. Take a line from Sharif right there. 20 cents in about 20 seconds. So that was that reload. I'm still trying to play off 109. If we break 109, we're out. We are waiting for more shares. It just did not come through on that last trade. As Neil mentioned, though, coming up after the close, I mean, we went over some names, man. It's Amazon, it's Cloudflare, it's CleanSpark, it's Take-Two, it's Pinterest. You say, what's Pinterest doing? It's Pinterest. It's Affirm. It's Fortinet. We got a question about Fortinet, I heard. And then Elf. So lots of stuff happening. Look at Pinterest heading into the close. Nice move there. Fortinet also. Okay, what just happened? Oh, did Palantir just go up even more? Oh boy, nice little move there as the hot dog cannon's on board right now. As there goes that nice reload. We reloaded. So maybe now we don't need to take a 110 break, but we still will. But here we go. Nice move to the upside there for Palantir off of a reload. So you guys want to know, like, where do you get in? How's this guy trading? Boom, 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 reloaded, right? We gave you that level. We said if it breaks and fails, what did we want to do with it? So it actually went down without breaking. So we took the long, and there it is, another 60. Sorry, we went long at 33s. Another 40 cents there, upside on ACB. That's the chart I have up there on Palantir. All right, TQ's going. NVIDIA trying to turn around a little bit. We did get some more outs up here now as we get lighter and lighter heading into the close. Starbucks, I don't know why it keeps on hitting on my scanner the last little while. Okay, probably VWAP. Underneath right now, down. We had mentioned this earlier today that Starbucks is probably prime for a pullback. It's very, very far off its 50-period moving average. Okay, Neil, Palantir is going to still, I think, take one.
It's almost there. Almost there. It's trying to go. I saw someone mention ASTS. I almost said it the other way. That could be a high break, but it doesn't look as eminent as either Palantir or DJT. It's 330. If it's not doing it now, it might not get there. So, just sort of respect that. I get it. It's up 10%. It's been generally a good stock, and not to ignore anything that we think can move. I think this is a good one. I think you had to have it off of VWAP, though. So Palantir very, very close to the top break. And, I did not forget the Piton short. It just hasn't broken 840 yet. Somebody said that you've forgotten the Piton short. Same level, same stop. I haven't moved it just hasn't broken. On Peloton. It started long, had another long, lost on the long, and then just trying to get back to flat after shorting these levels, but it hasn't broken 840. So I do have a stop on Peloton but I mean, it's not doing anything, and it hasn't broken this 840 level. So I just haven't gotten out of it. You know, you'll probably, unless it does something distinct like flush into $8, I probably won't say anything. It's going to stop me out at 840 or 841 technically.
All right, I had a big order sitting here at 126.85. It does not come through on NVIDIA, so we're going to cancel that. It's 3:30 heading into the close right now. Boeing TQQ's motoring right now. Look at this trade on the futures, man. This is almost 100 handles right now. And again, we talk about it, just trying to show you guys the trades. And when they don't work out, we bring them to you. When they work out, we bring them to you. It's this is a good one there on the futures. You go follow me as I continue to post them all up here. Earnings alerts, and then we also have right here, there's the TQQ trade. I mean, we posted it down here, 84.80. You can see where we're at right now. Also, our sticky note of the day, our Palantir early. That was our Palantir trade that we posted at 10 o'clock at 107. So there it is right there, nice upside move. And then, of course, NVIDIA, me buying in the open at 125 and 126, all there at Trader TV, Sean. Go find it, go hit it up. We all have our social medias as well as we approach, how many? 20 more, and we're at 49.8, so that should be good. As we approach 500,000 on the show and 50,000 on Twitter. All right, so... all right, that's the high. Sorry, it was Palantir. So right now we just got filled on Palantir. So let's go, man. This is a big trade for me on Palantir today as it continues to go higher. This is a little one, but it's a reload. So we'll put that money in our pocket, man. I mean, this is what traders do, right? You're here to trade. That's a trade. We just put it on right there on that move for Palantir. So we're now in the money about 50 cents in about 4 minutes. So here goes Palantir. We're still going to take a break. Wait a minute. No, I have to put that order back in.
Yeah, because when you
Yeah, okay, I have to put that order back in.
It's weird that some of the stop orders when you're trading and putting a stop under, you have to use the other one to take the breakout long. And here at Real Trading, and Real Trading right there in front of the screen, as I was mentioning, multiple stop orders that we can use. Each have their advantages and disadvantages. I shouldn't say disadvantages. It's just like there's some routes to multiple gateways. Some you can take out part of your position or all of your position. I think the flexibility is key in any platform, and that's what we have here, P per weight on the Real Trading platform. We're about to get to 110. Someone was saying in the chat, like, who punches long at the high of the day? Well, momentum trading is pretty much what it's about. I don't think anybody, and shout out to the chat, because I didn't start trading this until 107. The stock was at $100 in the morning. I didn't touch it until we got to $107. And sometimes you punch high because there's a momentum trade, and maybe it goes 50 pennies to $1. The prior high is like 20 cents underneath or 25. So for me to risk that, ideally it makes this break pretty soon because it's 337. Not expecting anything on the indexes, but you absolutely never know. We saw NVIDIA with a big one. We'll probably keep an eye out for NVIDIA as it had a decent size and bounce yesterday. But Palantir still trying this 110 break as far as I'm concerned. I might cancel the DJT one though. That's looking a little different. So DJT pulling back pretty decently off of that break. And if it doesn't get there soon, then there's pretty much no point. Apple, I'm going to leave it on Palantir because it could break any second. Apple gets up to 232.40. It took some out there, but it's right back into VWAP. If it loses 232, I'm jumping out of that one. 20 cents away. It can happen in an absolute flash. 20 cents is nothing for Palantir. So I feel like it's you-know-what or get off the pot for Palantir. And Haroon, thoughts on the Roblox dip? I wish I was sitting on the bid at 50. Like they reported in the morning, and there was just enough time to be like, what the heck happened to Roblox? And it was back at like 57 or something like that. That early in the pre-market when the buyers came in, it was complete insanity. And there was almost no chance for you to grab it. And then it's been trending up ever since. Sometimes the reaction to an earnings drop tells you a lot about the company and how it's viewed in the market.
We just put in the chat there, thanks Bears versus Bulls. I said put a green apple if you're green and a red apple if you're red. You don't have to put your numbers, just want to see, because last time we did that, the chat kind of went crazy and it looked kind of cool. Red, green, red, green, red, green right there. So, yeah, is there a rotten apple emoji? Yeah, maybe. You might want to put that in there, Bears versus Bulls. 3-week green streak. Good job, Bilbo Bag Holder. I know today it doesn't look like you did that, but good move there so far today. So let's just see if you're green or red, and yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day just to see what traders are up to as we do approach the imbalance moments. So here comes Palantir. I only have one piece left. So we reloaded it right there. We just took 70 more cents on this name just to add to it. And as Neil said, like, I didn't get involved. This is now P&L number 2. Actually, P&L number 1 for me right now is Palantir. And we didn't start buying this name until 108. So, I mean, crazy missed opportunities there for Palantir, but still happy to put that feather in the cap, and we would be green. So we'll put a green, well, it doesn't matter. I'm green Apple there today as well. But it hasn't been a huge day. The reason why is we got stopped out of 2 big NVIDIA positions. We got it back on, so, you know, keeping us green there as well. And then the futures, really the nice save at the end of the day for the futures, as this is right now 90 handles in the money. As we go long, Sharif, if you look at the NASDAQ, we're long at 21,700. Like, we've got down here, and right now you're at 21,802. So nice move to the downside there as we take advantage of whatever happened right there. BBAI into the close. Let's see what's going on right there. Thanks for everybody in the chat, man. I mean, it looks like there's been more greens than reds. So that's really good, and we hope that can continue for all of us, of course. There we go, $7. So Big Bear now underneath. Again, one of the great things I heard Sharif mention the other day was his sort of what he's looking for in small cap names have to be above this, above that. It was pre-market and VWAP. And right now, these are all underneath again. Not to follow those rules, but my own rules are that exactly truth about VWAP. If we're underneath, then we're only looking short. So for right now, Big Bear, for me, unfortunately, is a short. But yeah, some of these names trying to pull back. NVIDIA trying to pull back a little bit into the close. I'm going to let the TQs go. There we go. We took another piece out at 21 there for $1.20. Palantir, Neil, I'm just going to wait. Like, we only have one small piece left.
I'm not going to cancel the order until like 3:45 maybe.
Oh, I wanted to show this.
Because look, I'm not taking a breakout on Palantir if it's like right at 3:49, right before the imbalances come out. That I really don't like. So we took a couple of legs in here on Apple. Apple was my worst stock today. Now it's half of my worst stock today because of this afternoon. But like, I wish I could tell you that I actually had gotten short and reversed Apple at VWAP earlier today, but I didn't. That was me accidentally reversing short and then taking it instantly out for like 3 cents because I didn't mean to go short on the stock. But had I done it, look at it off VWAP. We talk about that all the time. VWAP is a good thing. All right, DJT still has a chance to break out. Palantir's pulled back a little bit. I'm going to leave it in for now. There's still a little bit of time for DJT to make the break, but you are running out of time. Just a quick little scalp trade I'm looking for on the break of DJT. And Big Bear AI, I'm glad you actually mentioned that. Here's an example. It's not exactly VWAP, WAP. Someone gave me a hard time in the chat for saying VWAP. Like, I think you want me to say WAP? No, like, sometimes you look at it and it's obvious that like there's a seed change. But if you just sort of hung on to this on BBAI, like, look at what happened when it lost that support. Now just trending down. I will still say, as long as it's above 6, is that really 666? Yeah, it is. From yesterday in the afternoon. As long as it holds this level, it's still a consolidative day for BBAI. I know it's down 3% and it really couldn't get going that much, but it still looks pretty good as long as it doesn't lose this bid at about 665-ish. So hopefully it can hold that and we get some continuation tomorrow.
I just want to show that like we are trading with real trading. We talk about that all the time. And we post up here, this is like an internal web page here. It's called Trader Information Portal. It has earnings calendars. It has our learning modules. It has market guides. It has the manual to our own trading platform that we're using right now, including P-Pro 8. Trader alerts in case something comes across the screen or anything like that. And it also shows you the top 10 traders today. This is showing someone made $3 in Brazil, by the way. Yeah, so it says top 10 traders today, but it was yesterday.
$3 in Brazil.
So I think there were some big trades there on Canada at some point because yesterday's top P&L was $40,000. It was a trader that traded Canada, New York, and NASDAQ. Canada, New York, and NASDAQ 39, 34, 24, 16, 15, 13, 13, 12, all TSX. So, if you are located here in Toronto, definitely have a look to see what is going on in that marketplace as we get excited to just share with you. Again, this is just how easy it is. You want to trade TD Bank in Toronto? There it is. You just call it up. It automatically Oops, that's Toronto. That's New
I did
York,
the
of
same
course.
thing.
I can't believe I did that. But there it is in Toronto. You just call it up right there. And same platform, same everything. It is going to be, if you are part of real trading, of course, you're going to need Canadian buying power, which is half the price of U.S. buying power. But you're going to get that as well. So again, just look how easy it is. There's TD Toronto. There's TD New York. So you can figure out arbitrage if you want. But at the same time, that's up to you. Just some opportunities. Like we talked about ACB, right? You can look at it here in Toronto. So there could be different little market thing. Like, right, look at the spread, right? 2 cents. You could close the gap on this and market make this name right here on ACB. I don't want to give out all the strategies, but you know, this is what I'm talking about because.
And at real trading, sometimes if it's hard to borrow
on NASDAQ, you can't do that.
It can be hard to borrow in the U.S., but then not hard to borrow in Canada. So like if you want to short it, maybe you have to pay for locates to go short ACB in the U.S. But then in Canada, we have the ability to do it for free, which matters, man. Like if you're executing a trade and it's going to move one way or the other, save yourself like 1 or 2 pennies it's going to break. We're going to break. I hate saying things in certainties because like there's no such. The only certainties in life are like death, taxes, and like the unconditional love of your kids. Like that lucky. Kind of exactly. Well, I'd like to hope that we're all lucky, but it's going to break 110. Let's just leave it at that. And it's 341. We have some time. I didn't look at the early imbalance. So I did look at the early imbalances, and when I checked, there wasn't anything big, but we'll double check it. If we don't get the break here and it pulls back, we can always double check those imbalances, which we're not expecting anything. And Dan Vogon, that's an interesting question I saw in the chat. Would you rather buy SMCI or Intel? For me, I'd rather buy Intel. And the only reason is because I don't know what to make of SMCI. Like I think it's a different level of risk. I think with Intel down here, you're getting it right at a distinct bottom. So there's a very small amount of risk on Intel to its low. And then if they announce a CEO, you could have an absolute banger of a bounce. There's just so much that can work there. With SMCI, probably if everything's okay, their business is likely much better. But there's been so many, the investigations, the uncertainty with their earnings. I wouldn't know where to risk to. Like if I'm buying SMCI, like what's my out? I know where my out would be if you buy Intel at these levels. Still, we just got to 97 on Palantir and didn't break. It'll break. I mean, that is like 550,000 shares on the offer. It's done 107 million shares of volume today. At all-time highs. Think about that for a second. It's done 107 million shares at all-time highs. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Just break.
I'm just waiting for it to break. Like I said, man, it's gonna be like 2 units. Like it's not. If this was 945, but it's not. So we do now have. It is getting close. If you're wondering about these imbalances that we keep on mentioning, and you're here, and you're new here. This Palantir,
Getty?
This is the imbalance locator. If you are part of real trading, you will have access to this. This is early look. We have signed up and registered with our broker who is providing us with information from the New York Stock Exchange right now. It's simply looking up at the board. There are no more direct market makers or anything like that. It's a little bit of a different game. Obviously, a lot of the trading is done electronically on handhelds and whatnot. So they can get a report of the open interest of what is going on New York names. So right now, Getty has a buy of 2 million shares underneath it. AMCR has a sell. I'm just trying to show you, like, okay, here's Big Bear. So Big Bear has doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Like this has done 145 million shares. There's 100,000 to buy coming. But the open interest is right now 2.4 plus 9. So about 3.5 million shares, of which 2.5 have already been agreed upon to take that closing print. So that makes no market impact because they've agreed that whatever happens at the close for right now, 2.4 million shares said I'll sell the close and 2.4 million shares said I'll buy the close. So they've matched. And as this gets closer and closer to 350, that should become closer to even or added. And then you'll see at 350, bang, they all become public and all those little hidden orders become displayed. And then we'll get a true number. And then if that number remains relatively high unpaired, for example, into the close, then you'll get a burst on BBAI in the last maybe 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. You never know what that timing's like of about 900,000 shares or something trying to pair it off and get that closing print. So that's a little bit of what it looks like. And we don't get NASDAQ until 350. So anything under here that says NASDAQ, you notice the time is, so there's some left over here from the morning, 700,000 shares from 9:30, 12 o'clock. This must have been a halt name, EPWK, so on and so forth. So that's a little bit of a rundown there on what we're doing. As, believe me, we're still 100 handles in the money now on the TQQs. So that's $1 trade. I'm actually going to take a piece out at 36. I'll just punch out right there. Get a piece out at the top.
99.
And then there's Palantir.
Yeah, it just got to 99 without breaking. But Amazon's also moving. I had the imbalance locator up just in case we needed it. Sean was on it. So Amazon also moving as Palantir just got to 99. Amazon now up 1% and looking for the high of the day. Remember, reporting just after the bell is Amazon. We saw what happened with Alphabet. Just because you make a boatload of money doesn't mean the stock is going to go up. Amazon's been an absolute beast. You're going to be able to join Sharif, Sean, and Adara at the desk for all of the earnings names. Of course, that's going to be the big one, but you don't want to sleep on all of the earnings. I think Affirm is very likely to be a stock that gets traded tomorrow. I don't want to say 100%, but most days there's an opportunity the day after Affirm earnings. That's the kind of stock that I could care less if it goes up or down. As long as it's double digits, then Affirm is a trade. Now, that's a good trending stock and a good short float as well on Affirm. Pinterest, sometimes, I think like every other earnings season we traded. It's now like 3 minutes to go. I said I would cancel this if the breakout would happen right at 350. So there's not that much time for it to make that run, but Palantir is right here. It's at 95, still has a chance to break it. They just don't want to. There's just a lot of like liquidity here.
Soon.
Like basically what's happening on Palantir, here, let me just do this. We can show you guys the level 2. What's happening here in Palantir is every time it comes up to 95, 96, 97, you can see like the little 1,000 share scalp traders in there. Like they'll actually come in and build into that 1,000 shares at a time, and then just look to take the scalp trade. There's a couple that have just covered in the 80s, and you see them covering in the 70s. Just making that like maybe $100, 150, $50 here and there. The issue with that trade is, what's your slippage if it breaks 110? Because if you scalp that for 8 cents or 9 cents, you could slip twice that shorting underneath. Like when you short the levels like that, I'd rather do it on like a Neo where you can risk 1 or 2 cents, and if it does a 5 cent bounce, great. Palantir is a different kind of beast, man. I never liked that kind of a scalp short. I think you get ruined on the other side, but it needs to follow through like it's kind of doing now.
The futures are ripping uncontrollably, and one thing that you can do is backtest, and what you can use as a backtesting tool would be the eSignal platform. And the thing about this is right now, it is completely free for your first month, only if you scan that QR right there. I use eSignal, so do the boys and everybody now, Adara on the desk as well. We're all using eSignal now. It is an elite platform. You get the best data. It's reliable. Like whenever I have a bad wick, I go over there, look at eSignal, make sure it's the right one. We get instant data as well, no matter what market you're looking for. These are the cleanest guys around as far as entitlements go. You want some Indian names. You want, Happy Lunar New Year. That might even be over now. You want to get some names in Hang Seng, Japanese. It's eSignal is the place for you. Backtesting. It's where I got a lot of the ideas that I was talking about. We did have the guy from Trade Ideas as well on talking all about setting up your systems and going exactly with that backtest. This is 130 handles in the money, and this trade is not brought to you by eSignal, but that QR code will get you a 1 month free. And I suggest absolutely everyone scan it and get over there now, because it's just worth it. It's 1 month free. Disconnect. It's like what my kids say.
What's the reason not to?
Yeah, my son goes, "Oh, Dad, I want that, blah, 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 and I promise I'll cancel it right away." So I say, "Oh, whatever, as long as he does that." But here we go. There is Palantir right now. Bye-bye 110. You might as well just forget about it. It's gone. There it goes. See you later. We take the long now. We actually did not get a very good price. We got 12s. So there it goes. Nice, or even worse than that. Nice upside move for Palantir. Take something out at 26, 27. We're just stacking right now. As Travolta's like, Come on, man, you're not listening? Nice move high side right there for Palantir. Let's see what winds up happening. A couple outs in the 30s. A little bit of a pullback now for PLTR. So imbalances rate now also.
Whoa. Yeah.
Balances just came out. So Palantir's ripping.
It just spiked on the imbalances. My stop is now underneath the... What just happened? No!
So we're good to go, man.
Yeah. No, I just took it all out at the 50-cent level. That's my bad. I actually just took it all out. But
50-cent level, that's great. It's just now breaking
there
higher.
It goes. Now it's continuing to rally.
Let's go, man. It's a face slapper. It's a jaw dropper. There it goes, Palantir.
Bye-bye.
Oh, boy. Bang. Let's clip some of these, man. This is what trading is all about. $1.30 in the money on NVIDIA. A big boy move on Palantir. Sure, it's only 2 or 3 units, but those 2 or 3 units, oh, boy, let's go. We are reloaded on that nice move there for Palantir. And yeah, man, we get excited. We are the hype man. We are the trader. We are the host. We are hosting the market recap show. We are interviewing traders. We are doing everything right here live. If you are not subscribing, it's all good.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like or subscribe button. And again, I know someone was saying, why would you punch long at the high of the day? Momentum.
That's all I've done.
Momentum. Momentum. Nobody, and I keep shouting out the chat because it was the chat that alerted everybody to Palantir. We didn't trade till 107. And everyone's like, Palantir's going. I pulled it up. I go, Sean, you got to look at Palantir. And that was at 104, 105.
It was 105. And I was like, yeah, right, Palantir's at 105.
Oh, I didn't believe it until I pulled it up and looked at it because it was crazy. So there's the break at 110. Whoops, I meant to. The imbalances, nothing showed up. BAC, 2 million. NVIDIA, 1.3 million to the sell side. Kind of a nothing burger on the imbalances. Had they been huge, we would have yelled at it. Like if NVIDIA was huge. I took it all out on Palantir when I went to put a trail in. I had to move my stop from I had my stop, it was at 109.75. I went to move it to break even, and I punched out at 50. But went another 30 pennies up there, and Palantir continues to go higher. So it was late by a day on Palantir to get to the 110 level. Pitch Bull, I can show you the imbalances again. As I said, nothing big. BAC, NVIDIA, 1.4 million on NVIDIA is very insignificant, and it's 8.5 million paired, which tells you a lot. You know, if it's 10 million into the imbalance and only 1.4 when the stock does that kind of volume, not really that big, or they're going to move the stock a heck of a lot. We did miss a super chat. I'll try to get to it now. Rohit, well, I don't know what you had there, Rohit. There it is.
Go ahead. I'm getting out a 110 break if it breaks down. Just letting everybody know.
Yeah, well, it's a great move. You got to make sure. Also, to the end of the day, profit taking on Palantir is selling. If anybody's day trading profits, right? You're not buying it back. Shorts are getting
could open up at
ripped.
120 tomorrow.
It could do. I believe at this point, you just have to grit your teeth and believe in anything. Because if you're not willing to buy it at highs, then you weren't trading it today. Unless you had it at the open. For everyone that had it on the 100, congratulations to you, but you had to be able to join it. So Swoldemort, see, actually we missed this one, Swoldemort, and it was DJT Palantir. I wonder what's getting stacked in the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Pelosi released her new buys yet. It wouldn't surprise me, but I guess we'll find out at some point if she did. And Rohit, shout out to you for paying attention. This is why you got to watch the aftermarket show. For app stock last night, you're green because of it. Make sure you tune in every single day, but especially earnings season on the market recap is the most important because you're going to see what are the best opportunities the following day. And apps was just an example of that. We've seen Palantir after earnings. We saw Google. We saw Roblox today, if you caught that one. That's all about the earnings name. So shout out to you and appreciate you there, Rohit.
Yeah, I mean, Palantir's not even, some of these plays,
continuation.
Day 2 plays, day 3 plays, all of that, man. Oh boy, Neil, sorry you got out where you did, but this is absolute, it's another dollar. What are we even doing right now? This has just been... What's up, Adara?
How are you?
Everything all right?
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
See you guys in the market recap.
All right, I'll see you. Just Great trading over here today. And DJ Marshall, I don't know what to do. Like, you're like, hey, it's not called being humble, whatever, it's confidence. It is what it is. We gave this reload, we gave this trade. It's like every single one of us, Neil included, all of us, we all have the ability to take these trades. And you may like them, you may not. There are times when trades don't work out. We talked about that. At the end of the day, we look over, it's a green day and it's a good day. So we're really super happy with the performance. Holy, what is even going on, Neil? 111.30? We just punched long on this one, man. Get out your lemonade, man. It's a squeeze party as this is going to the high side, man. Oh, boy. I may not even be on... You get it, Brankles. I mean, there's only a few of us around here, and Brankles is another one. And there it goes, man. Monster trades there to the upside. Like, if you're a trader here, and this is why we get excited. You hear it in the background. We talk about celebrating trades. This is a hard enough business, man. Probably, a lot of people probably red. A lot of people green today. This is a good trade. If you have it, you're probably green. It's a big one. It's Palantir. And we're just here to show you common people, common trades. There it goes. Huge move to the upside. You've now found the best, and we're locked in right now. We're locked in.
That's what it's all about. The market breaking highs and being dragged up by Palantir.
I mean, look at this futures position.
We're at 0.5% to the upside after being red a little bit earlier. And Rohit, I actually didn't realize how big APPS was. Shout out to you. It just, everything is going. APPS now 100% to the upside. I'm not sure where you got in, but I want to point out, look at what it did at VWAP. Nothing wrong with that at all. So it doesn't matter. Big cap, small cap, there's opportunities abound. You could have made money with DJT today. Obviously, Palantir is going to be NVIDIA is the volume leader, but Palantir is the notional move leader here today.
Look at this. This is just, okay, insanity. It's insanity. I mean, what we did here on the afternoon show today, we may have had, and again, I say we, but again, so what's up, Fabian? There we go. The fact that we just had this move in the TQs too, like, I don't know, maybe we sort of slept on this. This is a futures move right now that we just took 200 handles on. Bang. Like, that was bang right there. So shout out to Rohit for apps. Great job, Rohit. But honestly, what we just put on for everybody to see here live, there's not another channel that does this. And if there is, let's go. I'm ready to go. Because NVIDIA, $1.50 in the money, right here, 127. Look at this, man. Like, these are just been huge trades up there into the high of the day, and just trying to show everybody, because we already know that 85 to 98% of traders fail. But sometimes you can catch lightning in a bottle. And what's up to Adam DeLuz and everybody on there? I know everybody can see what I'm doing, and it's been pretty special. So thank you to everybody again for all of this, man. It's been a big day. I'm going to go over there and get ready to, once again, do more hosting. So here we go, man. We're exhausted, but I got Sharif ready to go. We've got Adara to help us out, man. It's going to be a great after show. And if it's not, then whatever, I'll stay on later. It's going to be, as long as we don't get that meta moment, right, where we wait until 4:30, 4:40, something like that. But okay, man, my kid has chess today. I'm going to go over there. It's 3:58 right now, but we're like, whatever, man, Italian gambit market. We got you right where we need to, and that's a wrap, Neil. What a monster day. One of our best shows of all time.
Absolutely, and maybe it does do another $10 tomorrow. You absolutely never know. We're going to see Palantir for sure with 90 seconds to go. We'll have eyeballs on two things, basically Palantir and Amazon. Palantir was going absolutely nuts. Amazon just dumped $2 or dumped $1.50 into the close. So not really sure what happened there. Maybe somebody got a little bit skittish with Amazon, but there was a break of the high. Everything was running higher, and then all of a sudden you get a big dump through on Amazon of like $1.20. So it could be some early selling. We've seen this before where someone gets ahead of it, but who knows? The number is going to come out right after 4 o'clock. I believe we're expecting 4:05 for Amazon. They are the biggest of the day. Is it 4:05, Adara? Oh, it's actually at 4 o'clock, so we'll get them right away. So no rest for the wicked. These will be right at 4 o'clock. I think Affirm might be the biggest percentage mover, and we do like it. But the other thing that you got to watch is going to be PLTR. When you're squeezing like this, the aftermarket doesn't matter. There are shorts in this stock. I don't care what the short percentage says. There are a lot of shorts in this stock. And price action is telling you that, and they're getting absolutely wrecked. We saw today, Sharif was showing a tweet about somebody was saying how overvalued they are, and that was somebody that was long that was telling you that. So obviously this one is starting to take some heads. But let's get the bell brought to you by Worksport. That's WKSP on the NASDAQ. In 2 and 1, ring it. So there it is. It's 4 o'clock. We're expecting Amazon right after the bell. There's no movement just yet, but we're locked and loaded, ready for it. You don't have to do anything. Thank you for the super chat there, Willis Addison. Elf, Amazon, Affirm. Let's see what they can do. It is your market recap. Let's waste no time and get right on over to the desk because we are expecting Amazon pretty much right away. Sharif, Adara, Sean, and your earnings bonanza. Go get them.
It's bonanza kind of day. All right, Sharif, man, looking good up here.
We-
All right, let's go. We are ready to rock and roll. It's going to be a big one. We're ready for Amazon. We're ready for them all. And oh boy, did we just have a banger of a day. I want to thank everybody for joining us one more time as we go. Today was a good day, though, in the overall market. I feel like the TQs did go out up 0.54, so 0.5% to the north side. We are not brought to you by, but we are using, I am using, and we all have different sources here, but we do have the Benzinga Pro platform right here ready to go as soon as earnings come out. They're there. I'm hearing in the corner of my ear, that Amazon right now is there. Earnings of $1.86 on Amazon, so we'll figure it out. Whoa!
Here it is.
We called this potential move on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
We had worried about the cloud. We had worried about a few different things. Amazon pushing back down in. You guys asked me for my opinion, and I stayed away. I said I did not like it. The potential was back into the 50-period moving average. We kind of got that. Let's see what winds up happening. Sharif going through the numbers as we speak. Says Sean always has bangers. We're trying mashing bangers.
So, Sean, we're moving down here, man. 227 off that 240. Katina, man, here's the deal. The results are on the screen, so if we can show my screen. Net sales, Sean, we got 187.8 billion. That's a beat. The street was looking for 187.25. That's for the fourth quarter. Previously, we had 170. Let's keep going over here. North Americans, how about operating income? 21.2 billion for the fourth quarter compared to 13.2 last.
We're tanking.
We're really moving down, Sean. $20 billion in net income compared with 10.6. Net sales increased 11%. So this has got to be the guide, Sean. I'm looking through the numbers. The top line is a beat. I haven't seen EPS. We were looking for $1.52, Sean, on EPS. Still can't see the EPS in these numbers.
I got it 186. The EPS is higher. It's 186.
Got to be the guide.
Versus 148. It has to be something there. They don't like it right now. There it goes. Who's going to show you a level 2? Nobody except for us.
Bang.
There it is right there. 226, 225 on Amazon. We heading southbound, baby. I want to thank all of you for watching. We're about to have a great time. It's Expedia out right now. If you're not having a good time yet, maybe you're not long Expedia. Bang for Expedia. They're out now and they're going to the upside. Expedia beating right now. Adjusted Q4 earnings of 239. Beating, similar shirt.
Yep.
Beating right there. 239 beating 202. Sales of 318 versus 307. Expedia upside. But you don't want Expedia, you want Amazon. There's Amazon. We'll keep it up here right now. 228 right now for Amazon. It's making a move back up. It is guidance. I just heard in my ear they see Q1 revenue between 151 to 155. Well short.
Yes.
Well short. Here it is right here. Look at this. Right on my screen if we zoom in a little bit. 151 to 155 versus 158.
Yep.
Sharif. It's not a great look there on the guide, but everything else seems to be fine. Better EPS.
Yep.
Sales seems to be in line, but it looks like right now, soft
Here comes the AWS segment, Sean. We talked about this. We talked about declining growth for Azure. We talked about declining growth for Google. This is what we got here. $28.8 billion on Q4 for AWS segment. But we are trading lower, Sean, as you said, on soft Q1 guidance. That
Coming
is
back.
the deal. Yeah, you can go back to the screen. We're going to wait for that 5 o'clock call, Sean. I'm sure Andy Jassy will have a lot of explaining to do, especially with respect to the guide.
Andy might be doing some explaining right now. Nice move to the upside right there. We just touched 222. And remember, if you're part of it, We had talked about pulling back into the 50-period moving average, which, looky, that was 224 and change right there. What do you got for us?
So, Sean, here's the deal. Amazon Q1 guidance anticipates unfavorable impact of about $2.1 billion. Exactly. My man already has it. Or 150 basis points from foreign exchange. We've seen a lot of companies report about this. The strength of the U.S. dollar is hurting companies overseas, Sean, as they have to convert the money that they make into U.S. dollars before they send it back home, and they end up taking a rinse on that.
Exactly. So the Forex there, I didn't see that. I just, as soon as he had mentioned it, I thought about it. We should have maybe talked about it. But they are bouncing big time right now, Sharif. The market says Forex, what's that? It's a nice bounce back in this name, up to 232. So right now, Amazon, this may not be a trade tomorrow. We'll see if it is. It's expected and implied move on Amazon. We were looking at 6.7%. We don't get it right now. All right, Expedia, nice move to the upside. What number we were looking at there? 3 EPS 207. They get 239, a nice beat on Expedia as that goes higher. We do have a new one out. It is security. It is FTNT, and Fortinet is now out. There we go. Fortinet's out right now, right in front of you. It looks like a beat on FTNT. Look at this, man. Amazon 232 now, still going. Let's have a quick look at Fortinet live right now. So a spread of about $1, 110 by 109. Fortinet, nice move up there again on the daily, up 3% there on Fortinet. Amazon, will Amazon go green? I asked people in the chat. We shall find out. What do you got on Fortinet?
It was a big beat, Sean. $1.66 billion in revenue. The street was looking for 1.59, so a beat handily there. Product revenue, they took home $574 million in profit. What's the EPS here? Let's have a look. Looking for that EPS number. Can't see that EPS number for fourth quarter 2024 results. We'll keep an eye on that, but we were expecting, Sean, 61 pennies for EPS. The previous move, 10%. We're already up 4 and change.
Let me know if I don't know if we have any graphics or anything scheduled today. I'm not sure if Adair is going to be with us. Look what's happening with Pinterest right now. Bang, bang, bang. Neil on the website buying everything. Pinterest, nice move to the upside. It's popping through right now. 34 up to 38. And shout out to Pro Day Trader. He goes, how does Sean trade all day? Come on the show and bring it like this. Because we got great people working beside. We trusting each other here.
No, that energy's natural, brother. I mean, nobody's responsible for this.
No. I'm just saying.
You, baby.
Look what Pinterest is doing on the daily chart right now. Pinterest up to 39, up to 40.
This is
huge move for Pinterest. Randy,
Affirm
up 16% right now. There we go. Affirm is out too.
Affirm is moving.
Oh my God, we better slow down a little bit. Affirm, nice little move upside as well. Oh my, Neil buying everything on using Affirm as well. This market is really going crazy. Neil, not all about cosmetics. Elf to the downside right now as they miss as well. 74 cents. Sales in line. Sales a beat on Elf, but right now Elf getting hit to the downside right now. Oh boy, nice downside move right there. People are loving the show right now. Yeah. We want to thank everybody there in the chat as we just keep it real and keep it natural. There's no producer in our ear. There's nothing happening. This is me and Sharif reading to you what we see in front of you with basically public information. So thank you to everybody as well. Yeah, it's called passion. We have it right now. This is what Trader TV Live is built on the backs of traders with passion, and we bring it to you right now again. All right, 186, a nice upside move there for Take Two Interactive. All right, AMZN, let's have a find out right now. Amazon, you know what? 232. I'm not super excited about it. We'll figure out what's going on right now. Someone just said ARM. Nah, ARM's not doing anything. All right, what else do we want to talk about?
We can talk about Affirm's result here, Sean, if you want. So on Affirm, guys, we were expecting revenue of about $803 million on EPS of -20. Here's what we got. Let's have a look over here. So this is not the, here we go, Sean. So set to report. No, this is not the right one either. Goodness gracious, can't find the right one. It's such a panic. So we'll have a look over at Affirm. No, we still haven't gotten the numbers, Sean. They're asking us to click the link to find out what the numbers are. That's not gonna work out too well for me. Let's keep an eye out on pins though, because that was moving up quite aggressively. We're trading at the
doing it live.
Up 28% on pins.
What?
We closed out less than 35. We're breaking through 43 right now. This thing is on. It's getting blitzed.
Yeah, man, this is a stock blitz, boy. We've got Pinterest up now, up 29%.
Wow, Sean, this is a big move here on Pinterest.
Neil might have fat fingered a big purchase here. There we go. It's a nice move up, 42 and change for Pinterest. As soon as we have the numbers, we'll get it for you on Pinterest. We have a graphic over at the desk or over at the screen with Adara.
One thing that we really look at here for Amazon, and one thing they actually missed at on a quarterly basis for this quarter is their Amazon Web Services revenue. So here's a look at some of this revenue growth for this sector over the years. And fun fact, if you didn't realize, Andy Jassy, the current Amazon CEO, was actually the CEO of AWS until 2021 when he took over as Amazon CEO for Jeff Bezos. So I think pretty interesting stuff here. You can check this graphic out on X at TTV Research. That's TTV Research. But yeah, really steady growth here for AWS revenue. We're going to have to see here what 2024 did because this graphic only goes up to the year 2023. They just reported 2024. But yeah, take a look at the smiling Bezos on X, guys. Back to you.
All right, I don't know what we're wearing today. I've got on some New Balances there. I think that was Deckers or something. But right now we have Skechers, Sharif. Skechers downside right now. Skechers down 10% as they come up with their release as well. Skechers misses 65 cents versus 74 cents. Sales miss as well. So SKX downside right now. Again, don't know enough about this name, to be honest with you, as far as where their shoes are made. But you're down here. Could be a tariff play as well. Down into $67 right now into the 200 period is Skechers, 67 and change down there right now. Nice downside move. Are we getting any sort of pushback from Nike? No, we are not right now. So it looks like it's Skechers alone right now getting taken out. Quick check. Thanks for that update there, Adara. Good little graphic there. You can see Amazon holding fort at 230. Doesn't look like it's the end of the world though, Sharif, because just a little bit of a pullback to where we were last Tuesday.
What was the pickup that Neil wanted to pick it up at? Was he saying 220, give or take? What was that, 15?
He said the 200 period by accident, but I think we're all in. That's right. Yeah. So it was Will Clark. He did have his favorite number there, 22 and 42. So anywhere in and around there, 22222, 22242, somewhere in there. And that is exactly the implied move. We talked about the implied move was 6.5%, 7%. So we'll see if that happens right now. Down 3.
Sean, we're still waiting for net. Cloudflare reports at 4:15. That's the latest one. Most of these, Sean, came out at 4 or 4 or 5 today. So we're getting them quick as you like. Let's compare here Pins with what we were expecting. So Pins is absolutely rocketing up. So let's talk about why they did so well. So on revenue, Sean, of 1.14 billion, we beat that easily, 1.154. The street was looking for 64 pennies. EPS handily beat that one as well, printing over that. The previous move, Sean, for Pins was negative 14%. We've destroyed that. We went up 25% at the highs there. The expected move this time, 13.6. We'll have to drop 6 points, Sean, to get to that 13.6.
Shoot, the Palantirs have earnings or something. Palantirs at 112.50 right now. Palantirs going nuts on this one. Adara, what you got for us?
In honor of Elf's report, I wanted to look here at the annual revenue for a couple of these beauty companies because Elf actually has already finished its 2024 fiscal year. We're actually well into fiscal 2025 with this report. So with that in mind, it's pretty interesting. Elf's one of the more stable of these beauty names. They IPO'd in 2016. Steady revenue growth, but EL here, Estee Lauder, which is the oldest of the 4, has really been pretty volatile. They had some CEO transitions. In the course of what I think less than 20 years, Ulta Beauty's already had 3 CEOs, so Ulta a little bit more volatile, but pretty stable here for ELF. That's going to be that light pink one here. They actually just joined the S&P Midcap 400 last year as well. So if you want to look at the history and the revenue growth of some of these beauty names, check us out on X at TTV Research. You can take a look at these and more graphics. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm always open for new ideas.
Right now, thanks, Adara. Right now, we have we got to keep going now because we have Clean Spark. Clean Spark just came out right now. ETA of 405 looks like it hits a little bit late. Right now, EPS of -09. Tell us what those numbers are because right now, Clean Spark taking out 11.
So Sean, the street was looking for 126.25 billion. We beat that easily, Sean. 162.4 million. I said billion. I meant million. Excuse me. On EPS, Sean, of 85 pennies. The street was looking for negative EPS. Believe it or not, of 9 pennies.
Right.
So we're already up here almost 7%. We're off the highs. I think we did break 11. We're having trouble with 11 right now, Sean. The mining name, the crypto mining name, decidedly green here, beating handily versus what the street was looking for. Again, EPS of 85 pennies. The street was looking for negative. We printed $162 million in revenue. The street was looking for 126 million, Sean.
All right, so we pretty much have them all. Let's just do a quick little recap. I was gonna hit the stock blitz, but let's not do that. All right, so right now, Amazon. I'm just gonna go over the charts right now. Amazon downside into 230. It goes out at 238, down $8 on Amazon on earnings. Expedia right now, huge move to the upside. Today, Expedia closes 172, now 185, up $13 on Expedia. Great move there. Unfortunately, this may be a buying opportunity. I'm gonna do the work on this one, but Elf Cosmetics, yikes, absolutely crushed, down 17%. Expected move 14%. This looks the worst on the daily, man. We had talked about this. We brought this up at 3:30 or so today. We were like, uh-oh, watch out. Already broke that shelf downside. See AMD and etc. We could continue to go lower, down into $74 on ELF. So that's the third name that we're looking at. Fortinet today was actually a pretty good beat as well. Nice move to the upside after an initial move down. Fortinet right now up $8. That's a good play. Affirm started to go.
How's it doing?
Pulled back a little bit, so we're still there. Affirm out at 62, up to 63. $3 move there for Affirm. All right, we have Illumina downside as well. That's only down $5. Didn't see too much chat about that one. Pinterest right now.
Banking right now.
We do have Cloudflare. Cloudflare just out right now. So look, I don't think this should surprise anybody. We've been having some cloud issues recently. Today especially, I woke up and I was like, oh man, I got a headache. I feel like the clouds were low today. We did have.
I thought you were going for serious right now.
We did have, no, I am serious. We did have a storm and it does apply pressure. It was horrible. But anyways, there goes Cloudflare right now. What were we expecting? I don't know if you have the exact numbers.
Yeah, of course I got a number here.
So go ahead.
For Cloudflare, we were looking for $451 million in revenue. We beat. We got $45.9 million. That was revenue. EPS. We're looking for 18 pennies on EPS. Let's have a look over here, see if they give us EPS. They always make me look for it, man. I don't understand why they do this. Okay, so I can't find EPS quite yet, but the revenue, the top line, Sean, was a beat. GAAP losses, but $34.7 million on 7.5% of total revenue. Customers are spending more than 1 million, grew to about 173. We'll keep tabs on that. Here we go. Now we got more data over here. All right, so let's have a look for EPS. That's gross profit, not seeing net income, Sean. Net loss of 12.8 million compared to 27.9 last time around. It's recovering right now, Sean, off the lows there. It dropped about 121. It's moving back into 141, Sean. Still negative on the day. I want to let you know that this thing, Cloudflare, is up 73% in the last 12 months, and this year only up 26%.
I want to say thank you so much for Sharif joining us today. And I want to say thank you so much to the over 6,000 of you that are staying late, because traders stay late. We coined that a while ago, and that still continues today. There's my guy, Neil. He wants to tell you, make sure you subscribe. That's exactly what we had this up for.
There it is.
We have over 6,100. First of all, hit the like button. We got to see this at 1.5K at least right now. And then get part of the subgroup, because right here, look at that. 498,000 subscribers, over 5,000 videos, millions of hours we've put into this show. So let's go, man. I think so. But let's just keep on going. All right, Cloudflare to the upside right now. What is going on? Who does this?
What is
153. We just brought you the numbers. Sharif just talked about them. 130 up to 153. It is not a trap. Cloudflare upside, potentially on weak volume. Hey, look, let me just check out what that looks like on the stock here. Net. Let's go over here.
We missed on EPS, Sean. 16 pennies. EPS, the street wanted 18. So that's why I initially showed.
All right, so there you go. So it looks like they might have guided a little bit higher. Finally, a cloud name that works. You can see the spread, not bad right now, 20, 30 cents. So Cloudflare definitely playing right now to that upside. Nice move. Guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We do this every single day. And when there's no earnings, we go over this lovely board right here and we talk about what was up or what was down today. What was up with uranium today? Down over 2% to the downside. URA downside play today. Some of these nuclear names may be pushing back as well. NuScale down 5%. We didn't actually talk too much about that today, but that's SMR downside. NNE, Nano Nuclear, down 5%. Oklo, down 5%. They're all down 5% today, it seems like. So another move down there for Oklo, all roughly the same. It looks like one of the big ones today, China FXI, leading the way as well. That looks like a good push on FXI. We had looked at different names, JD, some of the tariffs with that. This was another one, Bill Holdings, BILL. they got killed today. So they go out at 96 down to $68. What was going on with this name? BILL absolutely crushed after hours. I don't really know that much about them here. Cloud-based software solutions again, right there. So yeah, not great. Bill downside right now.
Sean,
the big winner for me is CRM. I really like Salesforce. I think that they can do really well.
Oh, yeah.
Their earnings is they're the same day as NVIDIA.
Oh, that'll be a nice one right there.
I like
That's
that
going to be
name.
the best earnings party.
Chief,
So
what
we
do you
got
want
Twilio. We got, Take-Two
Okay,
Interactive.
TTWO.
The ticker threw me off. Nice move up, 5 1/3, Sean. So the street was looking for 1.39 billion in revenue. We missed on that 1.37. The street was also looking for 19 pennies EPS. We missed there as well. It looks like over here. Missing on revenue there. Where's the guidance with respect to EPS? Not able to find it. I think they should really make this a lot easier to read.
They should, right?
In any event, we previous move of 7.5. This time the street's looking for 6.9%. Twilio to the high side here, Sean. Breaking through. Sorry, Take-Two Interactive. Excuse me. Breaking through that 187, almost breaching 200.
Yeah, no, it's here's a daily chart. Look how great this looks on Take-Two Interactive. And Fabian is like, yeah, man, this is the Grand Theft Auto. So these are the guys that are making that game. This is a name that I wanted to buy. Now it breaks out. Maybe now's the time. They showed its face. It's starting to break out. I like Take-Two. What's up with you, Adara?
Well, for one here, Bill Holdings, the reason for that drop was they actually just reported earnings today. Also, some people were asking about Monolithic Power Systems in the chat. So they did report a revenue beat, 621 million versus 608 million expected. They also beat on earnings per share. That would be about $4.09 versus $3.98 expected. Now here, I want to show this graphic because we have Amazon earnings. I think it's pretty timely. A lot of people talking about CapEx guidance specifically for next year. And we have Meta guiding about 60 to 65 billion in CapEx spend for 2025. We know Microsoft guided about 80 billion, Google about 75 billion. So it's worth noting that number would be well above the cumulative CapEx spending for these 4 Mag 7 companies in 2024. So I think pretty interesting of note. I want to have Amazon get in this graphic because they just reported earnings. But regardless, check this out on X at TTV Research. You can see the cumulative CapEx spending for Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Meta, as well as how much each company contributed to the pot. And it's worth noting Apple's CapEx spend very minimal, but you have steady growth, notably in Google and Meta especially. So check this out on X, guys. Back to you.
Were absolutely huge, and we're just going to wait to see. This is what it looks like right now live on the level 2 screen. Amazon going to be just fine. If you have not yet, please hit the like and the subscribe. Only me and Sharif, Adara, all of us are in the chat. The only way to be part of, like, I have the chat up right now. We actually have something called roll call we'll be doing after, but we see it, everything in here. What's up to Manny, Joseph, everybody there in the chat. Look at this. Here we go. 235. Lots of liquidity here in the after hours with Amazon. So that's a big move there, AMZN. Expedia, that was another name. Again, we're just going to go by market cap here and see what names are moving around here in the after hours. Expedia, nice move up there, up about $13. Has Google been affected at all here? Let's have a quick look. So now, I thought maybe Amazon might shoot this upside a little bit as we all join the CapEx party, but for right now, Google trying to hold out as well. Amazon, Google, Meta, Adara just brought that to our attention again, but a lot of these names not doing much, and our best friend Palantir pulling off of that 1250 marker that we brought to you guys as well. Yeah, so much fun right now in this after hours. I want to thank all of you for joining us and staying late. We do it tomorrow as well. Every single day, regardless of earnings or not, we have the market recap show. We also have the show at 8:30 when we go live, brought to you by all of us. We'll all be here tomorrow. Yeah, numbers are looking really good. The sad one of the day looks like ELF. ELF can't get out of its own way, man. We talked about that, Bill. As Adara mentioned, they did report tonight, downside. But ELF just continues, man, to get off that shelf one more time. Like, it is just like down, man. There's that break. It happened a couple days ago of $100. That's never great. Like, I don't know what to do. We talk, Sharif, all the time about not buying these falling knives and trying to catch a sword. And it looks like this is point to it.
Tough one right there, Sean. I want to mention, because we were talking about CapEx for Amazon, how much are they going to spend on AI? We've been hearing numbers 60 to 65 for Meta, 80 something for Microsoft. Well, last time around, guys, on the call, they told us it was be 75 billion. So we're going to have to wait for that earnings call to find out exactly what they're talking about there in terms of CapEx. So that starts at 5 o'clock today, guys, for Amazon. So make sure if you're invested in the name that you hear what Andy Jassy and the team have to say. I'm going to be all ears to see how much they're going to be spending, especially with DeepSeek throwing everybody a curveball and putting into question the energy costs as well as the hardware CapEx costs. $75 billion is not a light number to throw around, Sean.
Affirm higher, Fortinet higher, Amazon trying to go higher. Pretty good overall. Pinterest, a monster. Pinterest, the biggest name to the upside. Elf, the biggest name to the downside, and Bill Holdings as well. I just called up crypto. I mean, and by crypto, I just mean BTC. I still like this, Sharif, down here at 92. It's not there yet. It's at 95. Absolutely. It's kind of hovering around. I don't mind these dip buy opportunities. This is just a 4-hour chart. We go all the way back here into November. That's a long time. Obviously, we're still up from that 35% or so from, maybe a little bit less now, 25 or so from election night.
Yes.
But still, the promises are still there. We'll figure out if there is going to be that Bitcoin reserve or not. But for right now, it is a nice move there on Bitcoin. And I always feel like we need to zoom out a little bit because often I see people like, what are we going to do with Bitcoin? I just nothing. Just relax.
Well, it's with the speed that this administration has been working at, with the insane speed with the executive orders coming in, I don't know if we have to wait for that long to get that crypto reserve. We already got the executive order that creates a committee to study the crypto reserve. Right. We got the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which may or may not hold crypto. And
how huge would that be?
Exactly. And we've been talking about these central banks in Europe wanting to hold crypto. That shouldn't be underappreciated either. So I think we definitely have some possible moves up going into the rest of the year.
Do you remember when you used to sit right behind us and you were trading after hours? Now, I always say that joke. I always talk about that on the show, and it's I remember that. It's just so tough because I think that was a good example. Amazon downside, then popped back up. I mean, you get these moves, and actually on Roblox right now, it's not doing too much, but I think this is another one of those examples where we get the number earlier on today. This is a 5-minute chart. It dropped from $72 all the way down to 50, Sharif, and then closes at the end of the day at 67. So Roblox,
what a recovery.
To end the day yesterday, obviously up here at 75, and to close today at 67, not bad. But then when you sort of zoom this back out and look at a daily chart, you're all the way back up here now, $67. So just to show you, there have been some nice pullbacks in some names. ARM again.
And Uber. Oh, what a recovery!
You really like that stock.
Have a look at that. I mean, you got it right there, so you can see exactly what we're talking about.
Breaking through the 200 period. I like Uber now over $70. Yeah. We'll see if that can hit that marker. That was a very, very key level that we closed out at. Now pulling back in, but yeah, you're right about that. Uber today, take it to the upside. I actually like Uber. I think with all this autonomous talk, that's helping Uber. Get more full self-drive. Get some of these drivers into more Teslas, into FSD, and call it a day, man. Uber still needs to work with Tesla, and I think they can get it all figured out, and why not?
At least they're starting. We saw that they're going to use Google right now for the Austin.
Right.
So
and Waymo.
And Waymo. Sorry, Google Waymo. Excuse me. Waymo. That's the one what I meant there. They're going to make that association, which is good because Uber is the one that's got all the users.
Right.
You really have a Waymo app unless you live in one of their jurisdictions. So.
And people pay for data right now. I mean, that's the whole thing. Absolutely. How much data does Uber have? They literally sending coupons, this and that, all the time. So good job there with Uber. Cloudflare is another example of why you sort of calm down, read the report, and make sure it's all good. Cloudflare up and down, 121, and then the next 5 minutes, you're up to 158.
Unreal.
That's $40 in 3 minutes on Cloudflare. Adara, what's the good over there?
I think one of maybe the biggest stories this week that we haven't talked about that much, the fact that MicroStrategy rebranded. They are no longer MicroStrategy. They now go by Strategy. Their color is now orange, and they have a fun little Bitcoin in their new logo. So this graphic I did debut yesterday, but I think it's worth noting again here, the fact that we do have this rebrand. And this graphic really takes a look at how Bitcoin's price has ebbed and flowed in the roughly 5 years since Michael Saylor and Strategy first got involved here. So they started getting involved in Q3 2020, they added a little bit more here intensely, Q1 2021, And then, of course, it's really interesting. Their buying really intensified in Q4 2024. So as we made new all-time highs, that's when we started getting these once a week billion-dollar plus purchases. So MSTR certainly on watch. You also have this fun little quote from Michael Saylor comparing Bitcoin to a swarm of cyber hornets serving the goddess of wisdom. If you want to take a look at this, check it out on X at TTV Research. Strategy, no longer MicroStrategy, though it's unclear if their ticker is changing, guys.
I don't know how I feel about the name change, Sean. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, it's just like strategy. I mean, I have no idea what they're talking about. He says,
Did you know more about what they're talking about when it was MicroStrategy?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
They just went from like A to A1. Like I mean, they could have come up with something else. Maybe sailor strategy or something like that.
That would
Sail
be nice.
away. But yeah, if you look at a chart of MSTR, not great today. Down another 4%. And again, they might change their ticker, yeah, but I think MSTR is a pretty cool one. But there it is right there, 320. You're still looking for that to break down near 307, but it looks like we do have a top. This just goes back a little bit. This is only a 30-minute chart. So right back into there, 350 and change. So yeah, we want to do a quick little review of some things here?
Yeah,
What do you want to
absolutely.
talk
So,
about?
and I just want to let everybody know what time to expect the earnings call. So if you're joining us because you're invested in some of these names, let's have a look. So Amazon, as I mentioned, 5 o'clock. Expedia, you're going to have to wait a little bit. It's starting right now, 4:30 for Expedia. For ELF, Sean, let's have a look where ELF is right there. Can't really see it on there. Let's skip to the next one, Fortinet. That one, where's Fortinet at? Oh, there it is, 4:30. So that'll be starting right now. Cloudflare starting at 5. Take-Two Interactive, if you're into GTA and all that stuff, that's starting right now, 4:30. Keep your eye out on that. Then we got Affirm. Let's have a look at what Affirm's starting. 5 o'clock for Affirm. All right, Illumina as well, starting at 4:30, so that should be starting right now. Pins, Sean, let's have a look where Pinterest is at. 4:30, that'll be starting right now as well. And then Clean Spark, I'll have to go far too down because the market cap is
all
small.
good.
Make sure you are listening to these calls. It's imperative to know what's going on, especially if you're invested.
Bit Strategy. That was a good name there. Someone there in the
too
chat brought that. Yeah, so just quickly here, I'm just going to run down a few names. Fortinet's still up, nicely done, still going higher. Amazon, and as I was still at 5,000 here, we're going to wrap it up and do roll call in just a minute. Looks like Amazon could get back to positive. We'll wait to hear what they say, Andy Jassy and co, about Amazon and what's going on with that cloud business over there. We do have Pins. We called this one of the biggest winners. It's pulled back quite a bit.
Really?
Actually, back down 10%. So was up there near 28, 30%. Now you're back into $40, high of 43 for Pins. BILL, that one destroyed, down 27%. ELF also downside as well there into tonight. So that's just a couple of names that we had talked about. Expedia, one more, and then we'll get out of here. That's Expedia. Wow, Expedia might be one of the better ones. They're looking like it's going to sit at the top as we enter into its earnings call. Let's find out who's here.
Hey.
All right, man. Roll call. What are you up to tonight? Not much. You gotta go to the gym still. You already went?
Yeah, I gotta go to work still after this.
Oh, you're going still? Okay. So
that's what we do. You gotta do it when you can.
Oh, yeah,
right?
man. I agree with that. I gotta take my kid over to chess, which is fine.
There you go.
And then we have a coaches meeting for the girls baseball.
your kid
so we'll
plays
do that.
chess, man.
Yeah. He likes it as well. All right, who's here? Bears versus Bulls is here. Jeremy Newman is here. That's nice to see.
Hey.
Rohit Sharma's here. Shout out to Rohit as well. Let's go. Says Ice Beat. Okay, Ice. That's. No, it doesn't mean ICE services. They're also NYSE, so we can see the NYSE exchange there as it goes high side there. All right, LSON, Stuck Trader, Erie Pages is here, Raul's here, Borahout's here. Anybody you notice from the midday show?
Oh yeah, the Piper. We got Mike Davis. We got Eco Steve. How about your man Adam DeLuce, aka ADL? We got Hillbilly XRP. Sean. How about William Knight and One Coin, One Trader? I like that name, my guy. That is a good one. Patrick. We got Stuck Trader. How about Jorge Ramirez? Sean, easy peasy, lemon dang squeezy. We got a Christian Moore, T-Man. I like that.
Yep.
Well, you're the C-Man.
Okay.
Well, we're both kind of C-mans there. There you go. All right. All right. Paul Rogers, Miss Lucia, and indeed Money Shot. We got Ronaldo. We got easy peasy again. Shout out to everybody, Katina, man.
I was rolling through some of those symbols. All right, look, it's been a great show. Thank you. It's 4:32. You know, when Fabian hits that, we got to roll.
And we got to roll.
If it was Ramin, we stay around for a minute. If it was Ramin, we stay around for more.
Oh, I'd make her stay till 5.
All right, what is that?
And we're going to do it. Boom. There's a potato.
And these are
French
French fries. All right, join us
guy.
tomorrow, everybody. It's going to be a good one. No matter what you do tonight, be safe. Give someone a hug, and we will catch you guys tomorrow at 8:30, where I bet you will be trading some of these names. Ciao, everybody.